Hello and good evening, everyone. We're going to get started here in just a minute. So be sure to share the stream link. Let's get some likes going here. We're going to have some swag and giveaways. So let's get those likes up. Smash that like button, and we'll get started here in just a minute. All right, everybody. Hello and good evening. I think we got producer Spencer with the audio still on there. There we go. And hey, how's it going, Rodrigo? What's up, man?
How you doing, Jonathan? What's up, man?
Man, I am pumped. We have a great show tonight, and we have Nic Chahine. So all of you in the chat, go ahead, throw one in the chat if you already know who Nic Chahine is. And maybe you've been trading options, maybe you've been following some of his other picks, but this is a real treat. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bring Nic on, and let's see here. I'm adding him to the stream right now. Hey, Nic, can you hear us?
I sure can.
Man, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy week to be here with us tonight. It is just I'm super pumped. I always learn when I listen to you, and so I thought it might help if you just share a little bit about yourself, your experience, and then
Sure.
we'll get into the education for tonight.
Sure. I don't come from Wall Street, and I grew up in a very peaceful town called Beirut. Of course, kidding. It's not peaceful at all. It wasn't when I was there. But anyway, I learned all of this stuff on my own through the School of Hard Knocks. So I wish there was somebody to mentor me back then, because nobody was doing the stuff we were doing. Learned a lot of lessons. I love sharing those lessons. That's why I always take the time to join webinars like this, because I think we could do a lot of good, demystifying options, and a lot of things that go around options, like how to read charts very basically but very effectively. We don't need to be chartists. We don't need to be bogged down with the technical jargon that you hear typically in the media. So there's a lot to be shared, and I love these sessions because they end up going long because they are fruitful.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and just so everybody knows, Nic is going to do a little market overview for us tonight. We're trying out a brand new session called Beginner's Corner. Just go ahead and type ME in the chat if you're a beginner. Maybe you're just here checking it out. You don't even really have experience trading options, but you're just here to learn. And then I don't know, give us type in veteran if you're like a pro or you've been doing this for a long time into the chat. It'll just give us a better idea of who's watching here. But Nic, and then Rodrigo, I didn't really introduce Rodrigo. Rodrigo has been trading. He is a trader. We're lucky enough to have him on the Benzinga Pro team, just helping people make their way around how to become better traders using some of the tools that we have available. So thank you, Rodrigo. Thanks for being here as well.
Love it, man. Love the education. We got to grind for the community. At the end of the day, we have a commitment to them, and we do what we say here. So we're following through here, guys. So I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of people that are already members. So good to see you guys again here.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So Nic, we'll just get out of your way. If you want to share your screen, then we'll just let you do your thing.
Okay, let's go and share the screen. Which screen should I share? This one, the one with all the goodies. Allow. There we go. Okay, so you should be seeing my Benzinga Pro desktop, which I leave open all the time. Let's see here. Let's go to the market overview. Before I start any trade, I usually start with the let's see what the market looks like type of a deal, because I can't do anything without knowing the playground. Of late, we've had a few red ticks and people freaked out, when in reality, this is the S&P daily chart, nothing fancy. You can see the behavior is the same. Buy the dip, buy dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. At some point, this behavior will change. There's no evidence of it changing. Every series of dips, I track control, and there's no evidence that control is shifted to the bears. Therefore, my assumption would be that they will buy the dip one more time. All right, so we had a super strong candle after a super bad candle, which came after a couple of bad candles before. So let's zoom out one more time into a weekly chart. So point to me where the dip was. Exactly. There is no dip yet. So we just had 1 week red after a sea of green ones. So this happens, meaning keep your head on right, trade the charts and the companies based on their own merit. Be conscious of the overall picture. So we are precariously perched. We could have a correction at any point in time. If I'm aware of these two things, I have to stay small. Whatever trade I do, if I trade shares, I should stay, if I do 100 shares, usually I should do 40 or 50 or 30. If I do calls and puts, I should do 20%, 30% of the size, because we should be humble with our opinions. But it's not a reason to stay out. Rodrigo was telling me about a trade he did recently. So we can be active. There are some good stocks that are falling into support. So I want to jump in with both feet, but I can't. I jump in with a little bit because I don't know what the market's going to do. You're probably going to hear some headlines about new diseases coming out, some whatever pox, some new pox, monkeypox or something coming up. So there's going to be headlines all the time. I don't let headlines bother me. So that's the overall picture. There is risk, but there's no cause for alarm yet. So I'm always bearish with a few trades for balance. Like yesterday, when everybody was screaming bloody murder, I had a pretty decent day because the bearish trades that I had for protection paid. And I share these. And today we will probably touch on one of them, which would help everybody understand a little bit better what a put option is and how I can use it to protect the portfolio. Something simple just to get people thinking about it now that it's a hot topic. Scary. Oh, we had red ticks. So what can I do to protect myself using options? So this will be probably the best piece of education that we can have. Very simple and very basic, and it would illustrate and demystify part of the options, at least one side of it. So if Jonathan is ready, I can jump into that point, unless he's got something to pitch at us first. Let me share my practice account from E-Trade. I'm not recommending the platform. It is good. I mean, it's easy to set things up inside of it, but sometimes when things are busy, it chokes a little bit. So caveat. I've had experience with all of them, and at one point or another, they all falter here and there. So not to knock it down, it is fairly easy to structure some stuff. So let's look at the SPY. And while this is thinking, first of all, let's define what an option is for the completely new people to options. You can see that there are several tabs that I can choose from, and I defaulted to September for whatever reason. But these are expiration dates. And the SPY has 3 or 4 a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The SPX has 4 sometimes a week because Fridays has 2. So they expire all the time. Stocks have fewer. But that tells me that there is a time element of it. Like this one in September has 59 days. So basically, any one of these, whatever these are, I'll explain to you in a second, is a contract between a buyer and a seller, and the contract has a time limit on it. So the buyer and the seller need to be concerned with the urgency. One person needs something to happen, and the other person needs something to not happen. So there is a buyer and there is a seller of whatever it is. So let's get into the definition of that. And for this, I'm going to jump back to Apple because it's an easier way to explain it from a protection perspective, and I'll come back to the SPY. All right, so let's say I own 100 shares of Apple and I'm worried for this summer. It's going to report earnings next week, I think, if not that, the week thereafter. So I want to protect myself temporarily for that potential drop that could happen. I can go to the options market and buy myself insurance for that. How does that work? Let's say I bought Apple wherever, $110, and I'm okay losing down to 125, but I want to be out at 125 if it falls further. So I can buy protection. And using the right side says it's for the puts. See that word right there? These are puts, all of these, for 59 days at different levels. And I chose 125 in this case as the example. I would buy one put that guarantees me 100 shares. And I pay $100. I'm rounding down because it's $1 and it's 100 shares. So it's $100 expense out of my pocket. And what does that guarantee me? That guarantees me the right to sell my shares at 125 in the next 59 days. It's not an obligation. I don't have to do it, but I can go to sleep knowing that I can do it. So this would guarantee me an exit point at 125 at any point in time between now and 59 days. And here's for some of you that have had experience in options, that the next statement might be surprising to you. I can exercise my right at any point in time. I do not need price to be at 125. So I'd be an idiot for doing it now because I'd be giving them immediately $20 worth of profits, and I'm not about to do that. But they can exercise at 130, at 120, at 140, at any price, they have the right to exercise. So logically, they wait for price to fall below that, then to exercise the right. And what does that mean? So me buying this, I'm buying insurance. On the other side of the trade, there's a seller that is selling that. So what do they get for selling that? They get $100 from me, the buyer. I want insurance. They're selling me the insurance. Why would they do that? Because they want to buy Apple at 125. So that's win-win. I get out when I want to. They get in when they want to. So they're on the hook after I exercise. What does that mean? I exercise means I call my broker and say, I own puts at 125. Get rid of my shares at 125. They do. The person that sold the put has to take them. So they wake up having 100 shares in their account. So that's the deal is done. The contract has been fulfilled. The position, the position who bought it and who sold it disappears, and the transaction of sales happens. Everybody's happy. I, the buyer of the put, got out. Them, the seller of the put that sold me the insurance, got their shares at the price. So their break-even point is 124, just under 124. So that is the definition of a put. In essence, it should be for protection. Sometimes, more often than not, these days, I bet, people use puts to short stocks very safely. If you know what shorting is in practical terms, like without options, means the price is about 146. I do homework. I believe it's going to fall. I want to short Apple. I go out and I sell 100 shares I don't even own. It's legal. And I sell it and I collect 100 shares times the price, 146. I take the money, goes into my account. But now I owe somebody 100 shares. So if I'm right and Apple falls to 140, I buy them back at 140. I made $6 because I have to return 100 shares. And I buy them back. What if Apple rallies to no end? I'm losing for as long as Apple is rallying. Unlimited loss potential, not my jam, right? So this offers an alternative. Let's say I think Apple's going to fall. I buy a put. In fact, I did buy a put, and I recommended it in the chat room actually last week on vacation. Yes, I was in the chat room on vacation. Why? Because look, there's the chat room. They're hanging out right here. They're not supposed to be in here. They're there, so I got to pay them back and be there whenever I'm not supposed to. Here as well. So what did I do? I said, Apple is crazy running into 150. I want to pick a fight with it. I don't have a really good reason. Therefore, I don't want to go crazy. So I bought a simple put. And let me show you what kind of a result I had. So I chose August, and I bought the 145 put. Somebody could have bought the 140 put. So I paid $1.70 for it, I think. And then Apple collapsed. By collapsed, I mean like fell precipitously right after. So that put price got ballooned. So whatever I paid now is much more expensive. So I made money from that. I can sell the put I bought and not even worry about owning or selling the Apple shares. So people use puts to short stocks, not just buy insurance. I don't have to own shares to buy a put. That's a question I get often. Do I need to own shares? No. That's the beauty of it. Let's say if I wanted to short Apple now into earnings, I can go out and buy a 140 put. It will cost me $250 for one put. And if Apple drops 10% or 5% or 3%, that $250 might increase in value to become $4. Then I would sell it for $4. So I don't even need to ever owning shares. I just play the price action of the put itself.
Nick, so basically just to make sure that everybody, because we do have a lot of new people in here, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, because I mean, you're a pro, you're like the sensei, but we kind of have to like, filter it down here a bit. So basically what Nick is doing, Nick knows how to trade different option trades, right? I know a lot of people that are starting, you're probably only familiar with calls and puts, but let me tell you something. There's a whole universe of option types of trades that you can do, and each one will apply differently to different to different scenarios. Now, you need to know which one is the best one to apply in that case. But basically, that's what Nic is going over right now. And just to let you guys know, if we do reach 100 likes, we will hook it up. And it's a special giveaway. But just wanted to let you guys know. I see we have 130 people watching. So if you guys don't want like free stuff, let me know. But, we're trying to hook it up here for you guys. So let's, and if you also have any other questions as well about options, let us know, put it in the chat. Ultimately, we want, this is supposed to be like, educating you guys that have questions. That's why we have Nic here, because he also is following up on his commitment to provide the education for you guys. So anything else, like questions and stuff like that, throw them in the chat. We're happy to answer them. And this is for you guys. So just let Nic know any tickers also you want to see here, so that he can touch on them as well.
Great. So let's recap just so we don't get lost. What's a put? It's a contract. There is a buyer, there is a seller, there is a time limit, there's a price of that contract. The price changes based on how close to current price it is. For example, currently Apple is $146, which is right around here. And that costs $6 almost to buy that put. If I go down to 125, like we just did earlier, it's only $1. Why? Because it's less likely to happen. 125. Like, how likely is Apple at 125 in the next 60 days? A lot lower than 145 or 140. See how it comes down? Okay, so there's a whole bunch of Greek letters that the experts on Wall Street love to throw around and cause a lot of confusion. They have fancy definitions, like the delta, the theta, for example, theta. They love to say theta. Why not just say time? Because that's really what it is. The time element. There's 59 days on the clock. So if I buy the put to short the stock, like we just said, I need something to happen for me to make money. I won't make money if just time ticks. That dollar turns into 80 cents, 70 cents, 60 cents, 50 cents as time ticks. And then time runs out, poof, it disappears. So let's backtrack. I bet you've tried to listen or read an article about options. It probably said in the beginning, most options expire worthless, right? That's because people get crazy with the buying left and right without any purpose, without a specific reason, without a stop loss. So you have to trade it just like you would trade stocks. You don't just buy a stock because you felt like it. You do homework. You look at the chart, maybe. You listen to an expert on the future business. You look at the P&L, you look at the balance sheet, and then you make a move. It should be the same due diligence for options. Whatever the system is that gets me to buy shares, it will get me to buy or sell options based on that. I don't just buy them willy-nilly. It's so easy to lose money using options. That's what makes them dangerous. But they're safer than regular shares if I use them properly. We can illustrate that point. I can debate it. I know people say, what did he just say? Hey, used properly, they're safer, and I can illustrate in a little bit maybe. So they have their contract, buyer and seller, time is of the essence, and how price moves of that asset I buy. It's an asset once I buy it. Is very critical to understand, like, the odds.
Right.
So let's talk about odds. Here's going to be it's going to be a wake-up call. Hold on. Let's get a scratch pad in. I love this part. So let's get a scratch pad in. I want you to think like I asked you, define risk for me. Okay. And this is scratch pad. Don't worry about the numbers. So I've done this with 1,000 people in the room, and not one person gave me the full answer. Everybody had little bits and pieces. Everybody knows what risk is and how to define risk, but nobody puts it in plain, simple English and in a strategy. So I'm going to do it for you. So take a pen and paper and write it down, because you're going to forget it as soon as we get off this webinar, I promise you. Okay, so to me, risk is two pieces. One is, which is what everybody gets right. How much can I lose? Okay, so that's the first piece. What's the consequence of me being wrong? I want to know the maximum risk. And usually you debate it, you go back and forth, you ask your spouse, what do you think I should risk on this? And you come up with a number. Whatever the number is, you set it aside. That's not a number I manage anymore. I accepted the risk. $100, $1,000, 100,000, it depends. So I take the risk. Now, the second part, and that's the part you manage, is what are the odds of me winning? That is the part I manage, because I set out a trade, I put it in practice, and I look at it. Are my odds every day? Is my odd the same today as yesterday, better or worse? It gets to a point to where, like, you know what? It's a coin flip now. I'm not comfortable. I should get out. That is where people fail. They don't know what to do, when to do it, because it's the odds that determine whether I stay in the trade or not. And if I didn't have a specific reason to place the trade, then how do I know that I'm managing my risk properly? It is very important to manage this piece, not that piece. This, I shouldn't mess with it. Okay. Oh, great question, Shelley. Wow. How perfect is that? How to calculate those odds? I'm glad you asked, because options gives you that number ready right here. I'm going to point at it. See that little Greek word right here, delta? It has a fancy definition. It's how much it moves relative to $1 move and the underlying. Easy, right? No, that's your odds maker right here. I'm just going to tell you, look at it. Apple is right here. Price, 146. See, I'm getting excited here. The delta is 0.45. Let's round it. It's 0.5. It's 50%. That is your coin flip on either sides. It's 50%. The further you go from here, the lower the odds. So this poor schlep that's going to pay $1 for this one has maybe a 10% chance of winning. All right. So that is your odds maker. 85%, 80-ish, 70, whatever. So now we're getting to the guessing game. Coin flip. I'm not about coin flips. This is the odds maker for me. It's an easy way. I don't need calculators. I don't need spectrum analysis or anything like that. I know my method. I stick to it. I know when I'm buying what delta to buy. I know when I'm selling what delta to sell. This doesn't mean anything to you now, but that is the management piece right here. Here and here if I'm doing calls. This side is exactly the same side as this, only for calls. We can address that later or on another episode of the show.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff, Neil. And Nick, and you go hard on, I mean, with the chat members, to be honest. Can you just go over maybe like, a couple trades maybe, or like, I know that there was a discussion today with Netflix, the earnings, as you know, it's a pretty important one.
Okay. So yeah. Speaking of odds, I am a planner. I'm an engineer. I'm an electrical engineer. That's how I started. And then I got into business and finance, and the rest is history. So I'm a planner. I don't go willy-nilly on anything. So when somebody says, okay, let's trade the Netflix earnings, you know what I do? The best Netflix earnings trade is done after the earnings, because the reaction tomorrow morning's open is a complete coin flip. You're saying, oh, no, I knew they were going to crush it. It doesn't matter. The CEO knows all the results. They know what they're going to say, and they have no clue how the market's going to react to their words and the results the next day. It's all about expectation. So here's what happened in Netflix overnight, right? So, whoa, down to 496, and then green, and now flattish green, complete indecision. The results were good. The end, whatever they said, and the reaction was all over the board, and they ended up nowhere. So for me, if I wanted to put something with conviction, I wait for information. I design my trade. I set it in motion after the earnings. However, today in the chat room, somebody mentioned Netflix. Hey, any lottery tickets for Netflix? They know that I call them lottery tickets because it's complete guessing game overnight. It's a lottery ticket with slightly better odds than real lottery. Okay, so I said if it was me, I would sell an iron condor. And your eyes are glazing over like, what? I've heard this word. I don't know what the hell it means. So let me show you what it means. And I'll tell you the trade I said I would do but I didn't do because I slapped myself on the hand before thinking about it because because I just didn't need the drama. So let me show you here. Stick with me. I'm going to walk you through it. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So an iron condor is a self-hedged trade using options. Okay. We're going to use both sides of the fence. We already talked about the put side, right? And this is the call side. So if this side, if I sell a put spread, and this side, if I settle a call spread, I range the trade. I'm going to put it in simple English because I don't want to get to explain what does this mean and what does that mean. I'm basically saying, Netflix, you're going to do nothing overnight. And the trade was for this week's expiration. So tomorrow they can close it for a win, whoever did this. And at the time I shared it, it paid $1.50, which means the risk is $3.50. Stick with me on that one. Take my given and don't worry about how I got these numbers because that's just too complicated to explain in such a short period of time. The point of it is it was a guess, but I didn't have to guess up or down. I merely needed to guess range. I said it won't fall below 45.95. It won't rise above 570. All right. So what happened? Let's look. It fell to 496, $1 above my risk. So I was right about picking 495, and it nowhere near being 570, although it could be tomorrow. So if it opens here tomorrow, whoever did this trade can close it for almost maximum gains. And it came out in the in the chat room, and it wasn't anything I would send out system wide because it's a lot of guessing. That's not my jam. I like the plan, but it's available, and things like that pop up in the chat room all the time. That's why the chat room was tons of fun, and it's growing quickly. I love it. I spend all my day in there, even on vacation. Don't tell my wife. Don't tell my wife.
So this is a separate. So I mean, you have the news. Just to clarify, Nic has been with Benzinga for about 12 years. He's been the options like sensei here. So he's always been, very helpful. He taught me how to trade options. He taught Luke, Neil, like a lot of the people that you see here. We know Nic personally. He's always hooked it up with the trades and stuff. So we were like, why not? Let everybody talk to Nic. But okay, so this was from the chat room, right? This trade.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
So in the chat room, people hang out. That's why I was scrolling to see if anybody was popping in with questions. Like earlier, they had questions, something about the small caps and how closely related to AMC they were. I know it's a stock you traded. So I was like, okay, so another way to trade the small caps is by trading the XRT, which is the retail quote ETF, which look at it. I mean, they look like one and the same. So why not use the XRT to trade the IWM cheaply? I'm just saying. So we think about things outside the box in the chat room. And I love the conversation because the questions are left and right all over the map. Like somebody was asking, how do they get into this webinar today? So I just gave him the link. So I was like, you see me all day. You want more of me even after hours? Like, no. So anyway. Also, they were asking about, look, what time Sunday training sessions? Those are the Sunday morning sessions that I conduct, and I throw a link in here for those who want to join me. And those sessions are fun because we go literally over 50 to 70 tickers on charts. And you go through a few of those, then you suddenly know how to read charts yourself. It's very cool.
Right. And that's really the beauty, right, of the community. I love
the community. Yeah.
But let's get back here quickly to the other education here. We definitely want to make sure that we can cover these things. So, I mean, there was a lot of things that happened today in the market, Nic. Crazy move with AMC. I know that you definitely try to stay away maybe from trades that are like very, very volatile. But, we have a lot of new traders. They just want to play it, and they really just want like your experienced commentary on this. Like, how would Nic Chahine play this move?
Okay, so I'll give you the bad news first, like that you and I have talked about. If my mother comes to me and says, I have some money, can you invest it in AMC for me? I'd say no, because it's not a good investment vehicle. Just not insulting the company. So just follow the logic, and then I'll tell you why it's a great trading stock. So usually you hear of a company, what the stock is tumbling, and somebody would say, it's a broken stock. Let's go find out if it's a broken company. And that's how I decide to catch the falling knife or not. In this case, this is a broken company whose stock has never done better, which is very unusual. I've never had a situation like this before. So from an investment perspective, let me see here. This was COVID. So the world was perfect for it, and it was already down 80% from its all-time high in 2015, 2017. So this is where COVID started, somewhere here. So this is where COVID started, and then it fell through no fault of its own. So recovering back to COVID, I guess. But even then, it's a stretch because they're still not making near as much, like a sliver of their revenue. So yet it goes to here, 1,500% or whatever it is. It just doesn't make sense from an investment perspective. Let's ditch that and get to talking upside. So this is the shorter term action. And I know Rodrigo is active in it, and he caught this. He bought calls, which means, we'll explain what that means. It means he made a lot of money.
So 145% on some calls.
So
yeah, all on pro.
Yeah, so he's up 145% in how many days? 1 day? Hours?
In a couple hours, man. I just got the alert on my pro, and you know, I used the technicals you showed me.
Yep. So he caught the alert using the pro and got into the trade, and he's up 145%. Me, I'm a chicken. I book them. That's me. But there are ways to lock them and not actually book them. That gets a little complicated, but then just to throw the terms around, it's like a call diagonal or a call calendar, something like that. It's basically a spread. We won't get into it right now because we just don't have time, but it's a very simple concept, and it's repetitive. It means that he can lock some profits, and nobody can take that away from him. So technically, I have input on that move. It's going to start seeing selling into 48. You want to see, I would want to trim into 48 just from the price action, because that's what's happened last time. Last time it fell apart from here, and it fell pretty hard, 30%. Here they are, recovered all of it. Usually.
And so when you say sell into 48, that means as it's approaching that price level, you would start to sell some of your shares or contracts, correct?
Yes. So what I would say if somebody asked me, hey, what do you think of this stock? Ooh, I have drawings. I would say, here's what I would say. This probably, I expect sellers lurking. Whoop, not luring. What a difference would letter would make. So I expect sellers lurking. Okay. Which means if I'm up 150%, I'm totally comfortable getting out and leaving money on the table. Especially with options, because you're up 150%, and if you don't pay attention, you overstay your welcome, you can lose most of it pretty quickly, because this stock moves on crack. Basically, it just moves like almost like Bitcoin type of a deal, where it's so exciting. There's so much, but think about it. The person that sold Rodrigo those calls is down 150% in mere hours. So
that's why you got to use Benzinga Pro for your stuff.
That's why you have to be diligent and only buy or trade when you have conviction to a degree. So this was a trade. He's not in it to win it forever. He knows he's going to get out. So as a trade, I love the stock. As an investment, I absolutely do not love the stock. So this is where my own spin of technical analysis, which, by the way, I learned on my own, and I challenge the biggest technical guys and girls out there. So check out these two candles. If you put a box around these two candles, I bet you that's where the action is going to be most ferocious here for the next 2 days. Just the box right here. So why? Because this was an emphatic rejection and an emphatic failure, and then they fell below it, and then they got back into the zone. So I pay attention to these candles. They don't have a term or anything, just my eyeballs grabbing levels that matter. And that translates into what kind of trades I share, because I want, quote, sure things for me. Like I was doing homework with a tool about sentiment, and Uber popped up on that sentiment tool as like the sentiment bottomed, right? So I said, okay, so let's look at Uber. And I go to a daily chart and reset, take out all the drawings to take the noise away. And that was yesterday. And I was like, all right, so sentiment has bottomed according to this tool we use. and then it's falling into support, which was also a prior breakout point. I like it for the long side. So I went into the chat room and I said, you know what? I'm going long Uber with a speculative bet with tight stops. What does that mean? It means I won't take a lot of pain, because if it loses this one, it's going to trigger a bearish pattern. So I will try a long with a short leash. Today we get a pop. Lucky or not, it was the right thing to do. I shared it in the chat room, and it wasn't an official write-up that went to Benzinga wide. It was for people who spent the money and spent the time to be in the chat room. This is their reward. They get to see on the fly what I do and participate in it if they wanted to. Same as the Apple put that I bought last week from vacation. It delivered immediate results, and people could have booked. It was like 120% overnight, or maybe within 12 hours on the Apple put. So opportunities like that, I can't write up and share, but I can pop in the chat room and say, let's go. Snap also was somebody asked about Snap. I was like, yeah, I would buy it. There were so many things I would buy. Airlines, I was like, yeah, I would buy them. And then they popped today. So if I wanted to go write them up today, they're up 6%. It's like, no way, I'm going to share that. The easy money is made. Plus, United was reporting. Did they do well?
Nic, I remember this trade that you did with the TLT. So there's a lot of things that you've been preaching for months, and now I'm hearing Bloomberg, CNBC, Yahoo Finance. Suddenly, all the experts. It's like they're listening into your videos, Nic, and they're like, you know what? Like, I don't know what the hell, man. Let's go with Nic. TLT play, GLD plays. These trades worked. People booked, and they're still working.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So we're going to touch back. I promised an SPY put option setup. At every corner, you've seen me say, I'd add balance. I would add balance. I would add balance. And at points in time, it's like, I can't buy anything. Everything is so high. I can't catch falling knives. So what do I do? I share a trade that works in the bearish market. One of them is getting long the TLT. So you've heard it on CNBC. I guarantee you, yields will rebound, right?
Yep.
Wrong. It was a breakout, a technical breakout. I did not have a fundamental opinion on it for the trade, but I did believe in TINA, and I'll explain about T-Lane in a bit. But technically, it was in the breakout, and it delivered big win. If you listen to CNBC or the rhetoric in the media, yields, oh my gosh, I can't believe the yields are so low, and then they take another leg lower because the TLT is rallying. So if I knew that would work in a falling market, and guess what? Yesterday, it was a big payday. When people were suffering, we had greens to book from the TLT. Before that, the GLD went our way, and calls in the VIX. I said, how easy is it to just rent protection by buying calls in the VIX? One bad day, that's all you need. One bad day, and you're covered. And boom, immediate profits. So we've preached and taken trades long the dollar. That also works in the falling markets. Sometimes long bonds, the TLT, that works, and it worked. We shorted the FXI when we needed to short it, and then I said, you know what? I did a video. I think we should flip long the FXI, and it popped right away.
Nic, don't mean to cut you off here, but we're getting a lot of questions about the chat room. Let's just, I just want to touch really briefly, guys. We're going to leave the questions about the subscriptions until the end. Right now, we're going to focus on the educational part of this. So I just want to make sure that we guys can leave all the questions about the subscription. If we do have some time, we are going to go over that. But right now, we do want to focus on the education, which is why most of you guys are here, okay?
All right, so let's go back into the education. So I left us hanging with the SPY puts, right? So how do I protect my account for the next dip? The easiest way, the easiest, simplest, most straightforward way is to buy an SPY put. What is SPY? The SPY is the S&P ETF. So you've heard of the index. That's the SPX. And then there's the tracker of it, this one, the SPY. Very, very liquid. Very liquid, meaning like hundreds of thousands of contracts. Like this one today, somebody moved 26,000 worth of puts. There were buyers and sellers there. So it's very liquid. So if you want to make a trade, it just happens like that. And it happens at the price you want, basically the middle between bid and ask. There's no messing around. So how do I protect myself? I can buy a put Now, it's pretty expensive. How can I mitigate that? I can also sell a put to lower my entry cost. So how does that work? Okay, so if I had, I'm throwing numbers out, 50,000 account or 100,000 in stocks, why wouldn't I spend a little bit of money protecting my asset?
Right, Nick, and you're talking about doing just to simple it down here for a couple of the viewers here. So you're talking about, when you mean insurance, obviously you're talking about buying puts so that if you're long, you're protected on the downside.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I own stocks, if I own calls, if I own any bullish stock position through options, through shares, however it is, I need protection. I need balance. What happens if I crash my car? You have insurance. You pay monthly on your insurance. You don't consider that losses. You consider that I got lucky, I didn't crash my car. And part of owning the car and driving it is I have to spend money on the insurance. We all agree. Same with health insurance, same with home insurance. You don't say, gosh, dang it, my insurance lost me money. Well, if it didn't lose you money, it means your house is burned down. So that's not good news. So in this case, it's even better because I can rent my insurance. What does that mean? I can buy it, and then if in 3 days I feel better about things, I can sell it, maybe even for green. How does that work? So if I buy this contract, whatever it is, 429, 428, 430, 427, I have 31 days worth of potential protection. So let's say I picked that 427. I spend $600. So what happens on a crash day? If the S&P falls like it did the other day, that $600 may double in a day, in hours, in minutes. Depends on how fast and how fierce the drop happens. Okay, the VIX explodes higher. You've heard of the VIX, the fear index. When the VIX explodes higher, it means everything in the options, everything in here, every bit of lines in all of those time frames, they explode higher. The VIX is priced off of the options prices. So VIX explosion up, everything gets more expensive. And then add to it the drop, then this $600 doubles, triples, is up 50%, 40%. It's up big. Therefore, providing you insurance. But it's $600. And I have good news because you can lower that. So
sorry about that, Nick. We keep getting a lot of questions here about the chat room, so I'm just gonna just get this out of the way. We do have the options mentorship program, guys. This is something that we did specially for you, for option traders. So basically, it does include, I don't know if you can put that in there, Benzinga Pro. So it includes every feature with Benzinga Pro. It includes unusual options activity. You do get 50% off, and I told you that I was going to hook it up, and I'm a man of my word. So we're going to give out a laptop for every person that signs up for this subscription tonight. Till midnight, you get 50% off. So that's something that we're doing just, because Nick is here and we're trying to do a special for you guys. And you will receive basically full access to Benzinga Pro, the inner circle chat room that we're going over the winning trades here. If you can see on the left side, that's where Nick interacts with all the chat members. If you ask a question about a ticker, Nick is basically going to answer the questions for you. I'm going to drop the link here so that you guys can get that laptop before the 50% off expires. But basically, yes, that's where Nick goes all in with you guys. If you ask about a ticker, he's basically going to draw you a beautiful chart with notes. And last time he did, I believe everybody was asking about Chinese stocks because of the government of China, like cracking down on tech. So Nick was like, I don't want to trade Chinese stocks, but if you guys keep asking, I'll give you something. So he basically put out a 20-minute video for chat members only. And everybody made bank on that, right? On Baidu, Didi, Baba. These are trades that honestly I had no idea, but the way that Nick trades these stocks, it's not even it's not something that you can easily recognize. You need to have a trained eye. It's like, I'm not a surgeon. I don't know what I have to do in the ER, but you train yourself through the experience, and that's kind of the core of this, right? The education, guys. There's a lot of people that contact me that say, hey, Rodrigo, I lost 100K today, or, through the past couple of weeks. Can you help me? And, that's a tough question, man. That's really a tough question, because I wish you would have come here before when, before you were down 100K, because I don't like hearing that. There's no happiness for me to hear that. I when I get happy, like all the other chat members that actually got the education, made bank, and then contact me and just tell me, Rodrigo, thank you so much. Like, I'm going to send you some gifts and stuff, some chocolates. But it's fine. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm the only one here that can hook up, and I will hook you guys up all the time. So
bad for your teeth, chocolate.
But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know, because we're getting a lot of questions. And yes, Nic is on the chat 24/7. We have weekend sessions just for chat members. So if we can drop the link there, make sure everybody has a chance there. And feel free to ask any questions about it. And we can go over this later, guys, as well.
Shout out to Blind Trader. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, these guys the Benzinga team is pretty awesome at response. So I had a question earlier today. I lost the link for this webinar, and I got it from 3 different people. So this is funny. You mentioned the chat room. So earlier today, this gets me going. It's so funny. Days ago, I can't remember when I shared this. Maybe it'll have a timestamp on it. So I shared this chart with a comment. I said, we are in uptick mode. It was a bad day in the market. I must have been on vacation. So it was last week. So I was telling them, don't chase the upticks inside the day. When the day is bad, the VIX is up, then the sucker's bet is to chase the pop. Oh, this is it. We're done. No, wait, this is it. We're done. And the machines will sell it automatically. This is a 15-second chart. So I said every uptick gets hammered, trapping more bulls. This is a 15-second chart, but it looks like the same 5-minute one. So my point is, somebody went and copied it and saved it the day I shared it, and they reshared it today. So because somebody had a question about it, so I thought it was a crack up. So it's a community, man, and it works. Trading in groups, I will never go back to trading alone. I will always find a group to trade with, and I'm lucky to have a group as good as this one. There are no jerks in the chat room yet that I found. There are some pretty good people that know how to go in and out. I think somebody was trading Netflix actively after hours. That's not for me, but they're doing it from
nice
with stocks.
Hey, quick shout out here to Ola D. Excuse me if I say it wrong. Ola Di Pupo. Welcome to the family. Thanks for joining. You're gonna love this, man. It's a great experience. Thank you for being here. I believe we had spoken earlier. You talked with one of us. Just wanted to share this, guys. Thanks for joining here. And obviously, Nic is killing it. So also just want to mention the laptops are only for the yearly subscriptions. So it needs to be the annual one if you do want the laptop, 8 GB RAM, and you can run all of your Benzinga Pro charts. Everything that Nic is showing you here is on Benzinga Pro. Okay? Everything he's showing you here, it's on Benzinga Pro, plus some other things that we're going to touch a little bit later. But thank you very much, guys, here for being with us with the education. And let's take it away, Nic. Show them what you can do there.
Sure. I specifically love the kitchen sink setup. So I don't have time to spend to structure my windows. Luckily, they have boilerplate ones that like unusual options activity. If you want to look at the institutional ownership, earnings monitorship, bloop, 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 the kitchen sink has everything in it. All right. So back to this, whatever we're doing. Okay, debit put spread. So we said we can buy one put to get my self-protection. I can buy whichever one of these because I'm only protecting the oh crap moment, which means stock price or the stock markets are falling fast. So I don't need to be surgical with it, right? I could be surgical, but I don't need to be. All I need is a big drop and fast. Then this makes money to offset losses somewhere else. If somebody's just shorting markets, then this also works. So how do I lower my entry cost? By buying this. I buy this is $7 up here. But if I sell something else, I collect $4 or $5. So now the overall spend is $2, just barely above, instead of $7. So it's a $230 versus $700. Remember, each one contract is actually 100 shares. So anything I see here, I have to multiply by 100. So this one, mathematically, if I spend $230 for one contract, I can make as much as $770. In reality, it's $10 wide. So the maximum value of it is $10. And I'm spending $2.30 to open. So the difference between those two is the maximum, quote, profit I can make. How do I make it? If price falls through both and fast. So that is the way I protect. So how many do I do? I don't know. That's up to the individual. How much am I trying to protect? And I'm not trying to protect 100% of my profile. That is ridiculous. If things are that iffy, I shouldn't be invested. But I should give enough money for myself on a bad day to go in and fix my trades, exit what I need to exit, and have some greens.
That's something I've seen, Nick, that like, and I know like one time I did ask you the same thing, and I don't even think you know my username on Benzinga Pro, so I don't know if you knew it was me, but I've been asking for some advice on a couple like trades, and I see that for every chat member you do the same thing. So like I came in confused, like, hey, like, what do you think about the stock? And you gave me a full thesis, a full analysis, full charting. I was impressed with that. But the thing is, you do it for every subscriber, and you throw in like 3 to 5, tickers a day on the bullish or bear side, because you're looking at different levels at a bunch of different stocks on your Benzinga Pro that you get your alerts there. So this is something you'd go through every single day, right? You do a game plan in the morning, what you're looking at, breaking down the news, digesting it, how to trade, all that stuff, right?
Yep. This one right here is a YouTube link to a video I did today. I believe it was 15 minutes. It was to share a trade, but it also had 3 or 4 different trades I wanted to do. I wanted to go Penn. I wanted to go WBA. I wanted to go, now I'm drawing a blank on the other 2 under the gun. I didn't choose those. I chose another one. But the point was that I had so many to choose from, and I argued why I chose the one I chose, and I set the trade, and I said I have a tight stop on it because I don't trust the overall market. So yes, this is chat room, shared video, hot off. I did the video, I posted it in there. I didn't bother wait for the write-up to come through the Benzinga system, and maybe they're subscribing to it or maybe not, but they got it right there. And it's with details, and it refers to this window, and it shows the trade here, and in 4 different ways. How I would buy a call, how I would buy a call spread, how I would sell a put, and how I would sell a put spread. So the 3 different ways of getting long a stock, and to just with every detail, the macro thesis, the micro thesis, meaning what's the stock look like? The fundamentals were okay, but I was playing more on it's hit bottom, it hit support, and maybe we can swing it back up type of a deal. So yes, that's what I do. I try to answer questions in full detail. Hopefully they watch it. Some people are short on attention span, so they skip a few things here and there, and I think they're missing out on a lot. Every video I do is like a full lesson like this. I go through everything all over again, like it's the first time they've looked at a video from me, everything. So I do appreciate you mentioning that, because it's a lot of work, but it's satisfying work.
And there's a good question, and people are like, who in the world is this bald guy popping in? But hi, I'm Jonathan, and there's some people asking, well, how much money do you really need to start investing in options? And I just got to say, options used to confuse the hell out of me. But, thanks to following you in your chat room, and thanks to, I back in the day, I got started with a paper trading account. The best time to start learning how to trade options is right now. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know all the lingo and the language between the buying and the selling and the spreads and the iron condor and the butterfly. Just take a step back, watch the videos, and just soak in it. And then step by step, you got this guy, Nic Chahine, to guide you in the right direction.
Yep, I was trying to see if I had any open examples that I could use, but no, these are all the stale trades that I've done in prior. I should reset this portfolio in prior demonstrations. So to answer, I saw the question pop through the stream there. How about start with paper trading? Even if you just write it down, if your platform doesn't allow for paper trading, just write it down. I wish I had done that, but I got lucky my first year of really trading options. I got really lucky. I did really well. My second year, I was doing great until one day. And then one day I learned a very expensive lesson, which wiped me out for all the profits I did. That took me back to zero as far as on the profit and loss statement. So every mistake you learn from. So why not learn with fake money? So where's the rush? to
Hey,
like
Nick,
jump in with.
sorry, don't mean to interrupt you, Nick. Just want to let you guys know we only have 9 laptops left. So if you guys want to hop in right now, we only have 9 left. So if you do subscribe right now for the yearly, we have 9 laptops left. Just wanted to let you guys know. If you can, so you don't say I didn't tell you, okay?
So since the laptop comes with a yearly membership, that's the amount of time I would consider that, hey, it's a classroom that's going to last X number of months, depends on what I decide to join. I've looked at classes for other stuff before, and they were usually pretty expensive. So why not jump into something that's interactive? People ask questions all day. It's like a year-long classroom that works on your schedule. So from that perspective, to answer your question, how much do I need? Here, the honest truth, the bigger the account, the easier it is to trade once you know what you're doing. However, everybody should start tiny. So the size of the account does not matter. If your intention is to learn options, it doesn't matter how much the bucket size is now. I can learn now and practice and practice and practice, and then put it to practice with small money to make small mistakes and learn, and then deploy it on a bigger scale once I have enough money that I can play with. So I've done this style of trading with a small account. 5,000, 10,000 is doable. A lot easier with 50,000, 100,000. And people who have way more than that, it is so easy to make money on great stocks that it's almost ridiculous. But it does require a bigger bucket. But people can get there a little bit at a time. The first step is to learn. You can learn with a small account or a big account. The lesson is the same, and the charge for that lesson is the same. And so that, I think, answers it as honestly as I can.
I just wanted to really quick welcome Sean and Jeff and Mitchell to the family. Congratulations, and we're glad to have you on board.
Welcome to the family. That's how it's done, man.
So somebody's asking about Nvidia 4-way split. The split doesn't affect the value of the company, just makes it more attainable for people to trade. I had to blow out all my lines today because TradingView did not adjust my lines to the new price. So I was short Nvidia. I closed it for a win before the split, because what happens with the split, I think what they're asking. So if I'm in options and I did a trade with 10 contracts and then the stock split 4 for 1, suddenly I have 40 contracts. So I have four as many at 1/4 of the value. Now I'm told that there were errors displaying in some of the platforms. So if you're freaking out because it's showing you something weird, I bet you it'll click over tomorrow and or call your broker to find out more. I've been in splits before. I think the last one I was in was CRM. Suddenly I have a huge. The problem is you go to close it, and you have to close 40, 50, 60 contracts when you only wanted to close 1/4 of that. But suddenly that you have that many contracts, you have to close them, and the closing fees become significant. So that's why I decided to book my profits, leave money on the table, and get out of the trade before it actually split.
All right. Are there any other tickers that you've been watching personally, Nick, that you'd want to go over? And it looks like we only have 5 laptops left, so be sure to use that code in the chat, Nick50. I think we have the link there as well. So take
until
advantage
midnight. So until midnight. So please don't call me tomorrow. Trying to like hook you up. I go really far to try to give you guys, like the ultimate hookup. So this is it, right? I had to jump a couple hoops here to do this, right? And get Nick here, as you know. So let's make sure we can enjoy this, right? So we've gone over technicals. We've done a lot here. Let's just recap briefly here, Jonathan. So we've done calls. What else have we covered here with Nick? Earning trades.
We haven't done calls so much. We concentrated on one side of the equation. If the people in the room want to hear a little bit about calls, we can spend 5 minutes on that, because we've concentrated here. We mentioned calls in passing. So I leave it up to them to decide if they want calls or not. If not, we can jump into a couple of tickers if that is a good time allotment for it.
What I've heard a lot from our users is, how news affects your trades, Nick. I mean, obviously technicals
Don't get me
are super
started.
important, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could tell us a little bit more about how,
Okay.
all right, you've got the delta, you've got all the technicals, but
Yeah.
then where does news come into play?
Okay, so I'm going to do everybody a favor. Yeah. Turn off the news from influencing your trades. So, in my experience, and I think I have facts to back it up, 99% of all headlines do not matter. You think they matter, they don't matter. The only headlines that actually matter are the ones that change the game. And I'll use the Federal Reserve for that because it's a perfect example. And then I'll use Peloton for that because it's also a perfect example. So I don't listen to news that say demand was high or inventories were high or on oil or something. That's just noise. We have a deal. Noise. It has a short-term effect that exaggerate whatever was going on. It doesn't create a new price path. However, in 2018, the stock market was falling off a cliff, right? October. And then it fell really hard in December. And then the Federal Reserve said, okay, we yield. We are going to, I'm trying to get to 2018 to show you. Where was that? Here. Okay, right here. So things were bad, and then we went sideways, and then things got really bad when Jerome Powell said something like, we are on a tightening cycle on automatic control or cruise control or something. They said, what? And then he said, no, wait, I changed my mind. We're going to flip from QT to QE. So they went from tightening conditions to loose monetary conditions. That actually changes the amount of money that flows in the economy. Boom. That's news that changes the game. We haven't had much since then, okay? The news that the world stopped working changes the game. That's news, okay? So the trillions of stimulus, that's news. It's actually increasing the money in the economy to an astronomical value, okay? So these are changing news. If a company says, you know what, we got sued, we cannot sell our product anymore, Peloton, that's a newsworthy headline that I can probably trade around. Because if they can't sell their product, that changes their P&L, right? The Trump election was changing the game because it physically changed the bottom line of every company with the tax cut, for corporate tax cut. So it's a matter of dollars and cents in the P&L. So that is a game-changing headline. Very few of those. Very few. The election of President Biden was a game changer for pot stocks and somewhat all the alternative energy plays, whether it comes to fruition or not, but it is theoretically changing the game because they could legalize pot. That's a big game changer. So other than that, little piddly, I almost cussed, little piddly crap, I guess we can say that, little piddly crap headlines here and there, they don't matter. Just ignore it and you'll be better off. Don't chase FOMO up or down. Don't listen to the memes. Read it, read the facts, and form your own opinions. Like if you chased oil too late, you got sucked into it. I shorted it and I shared it and I said, here's why I'm shorting Chevron. And here's why I'm shorting the USO, which was a trade in the chat room. I don't believe I shared it system-wide. I said, I am picking a fight with the USO. I'm selling a call spread at 51. It got underwater one day and then played out perfectly. So set your own path and ignore most of the news. Just ignore it.
Right. And that's ultimately what you're trying to do with the options mentorship, right? You're really trying to help traders and investors protect their capital, right? That's really what your style is about.
The value is in the behavior like this, into knowing what to chase and what not to chase and what not to do during days. Or, the concept translates into whatever time frame it is. So if they're active intraday, it's usable. If it's active, if they're only trading once a week, it's also usable on a daily chart, for example. So I'm trying to teach methods on how to fish. I'm trying to show them how to use the fishing pole, so to speak, instead of just waiting for, here's a trade, here's a fish. let me show you how you can get your own trades and ask me, like somebody at least once, or maybe once an hour in the chat room, somebody say, what do you think of this trade? So I'll say, what does it pay? And I'll ask for the description of it. And then I can say, well, you know, it could work. It's not my style, but it could work. You have to look out for this and you have to look out for that. And sometimes it's not even about options. So if you don't even trade options and you just want somebody to ping chart reading abilities, I've got pretty good ones, and I put them in plain simple English. What are we looking at here? The USO. So like here they said, why did you decide to short 51? Can anybody guess? Look at the chart. Quiz. Can anybody guess why I decided right here to sell a call spread, short USO, other than my personal belief about oil? Tick tock, tick tock. All right, I'll give you the hint. It's this guy right there. That is a very pointy price action, and I bet that it would be a pivot point, and it was. Now, they could come back and take it out on the second attempt, so I won't short it again. OPEC, no. Kind of, well, in theory, but this was an actual technical reason why. So if somebody was trading non-options, they would have known not to buy USO shares up here going into that fact. So if you don't trade options and you do trade options, but not all the time, and you need help with the regular trading, the chat room is a place to be. I don't just talk about options. I am a fundamental trader that's become a pretty strong technical trader that has come to understand options inside and out from a market maker's perspective. That's a huge, huge difference than just playing options.
Right.
I just want to welcome here. It looks like we have three more members here: Shiraz, Sundar, Murthy. So I think that means we're down to just 2 laptops left. So if you want one, get one.
Actually,
now.
Jonathan, refresh that. We just ran out right now, so I'm gonna have to call the owner or something here, because we gotta keep our word here. So give me a couple minutes. Let me make this phone call, and hopefully we can come through with some more laptops for this. Just give me a couple minutes, all right?
All right, we'll see you in a minute.
So I'll take this minute. I'll take this minute if you don't want it, Jonathan. Somebody's asking about JP Morgan puts, 723 puts. So Space Ape, funny name. So I shorted banks. I shared BAC, Bank of America short. I shared Goldman Sachs short on several occasions, and I won on all of them. It's a similar trade to being long the TLT. So I cautioned against, when it bounced here, that it would find resistance, and look where it found resistance, and then it would draw this right shoulder. And it looks like they're deciding whether they want to let it loose or not. But I tell you what, if JP Morgan falls below this line and closes below it, I think it's going to here. Great company, cheap stock, just price action, people. I will get long the banks when they fall into a support level. I did the same thing with Goldman Sachs, and I'm waiting for it to pop up so I can short it again. I did the same thing with BAC, and BAC has already almost fulfilled the downside. This is the most honest bank of all because it's an actual bank. The other one has trading desks that can offset some losses here and there. So I think BAC could come down to here. I would buy it here. See, I have an alert. Long with an exclamation point. See, I'm not lying. Look, long. That's a note for future Nick when he's worried about, oh my God, the banks are falling out of bed. Time to step up to the plate and swallow the pride and get long. All right. So yes, we do this stuff all the time. Looks like stop me if you want me to go somewhere else, but I'm going to continue answering the questions that are popping in here. So CGC used to be my favorite pot stock, not anymore. I don't know why, because of their fundamentals. What the heck happened to their cash? You know, they had $4.5 billion and they're spending a whole lot of it and not growing the top line much. Kudos for them doing this well when they're still an illegal activity. So I would buy the dip just because people love it. And look, this is a base. In fact, I wish you're in the room. Why don't you join and remind me tomorrow to look at the stock or Tilray? So I'm going to put an alert here just for me to get busy with it. Tilray. Yeah, I definitely like this chart better. And given their recent merger, it makes their P&L pretty strong too. I believe they're a big chunk of MJ now too because they combined both companies. So yeah, I do like this Tilray better. So I'm going to put an alert here to pay attention to it if it hiccups.
Yes. All right, Jason. Thank you. I like you too. I like you too, man. All right, bro.
Jason
He
was
never says that to me.
Okay, sorry guys. I just got off the line here with Jason Raznick here, CEO of Benzinga, founder of Benzinga. I told him it's the last time we're gonna do it, but I keep pushing it. But let's just hope everything works out. So I was able to unlock 50 more laptops. Okay,
Holy cow!
50 laptops. Don't worry, it's already approved. Don't worry about me. Just take the deal while it's there. That's all I'm gonna say, guys. This chat, like, really the concept here, guys, is that we all got to stick together. So I'm sticking together for you guys. I'm going to bat for you guys. Go to bat for yourself. Get the education. You have to get the education. Don't come at me when you're down 100K, because honestly, man, I just every time it's just like, man, would you have just contacted me a week ago before you make that mistake? But honestly, just went through a whole lot of stuff to get you these laptops, guys. Jonathan, if you can drop that link there, we already got it there. Make sure that everybody gets a chance to get here. And, you know, you're welcome, guys. Enjoy the education. Let's go at it.
All right. So I tell you what, since we are talking about, it sounds like we have some people that know what they're talking about with options. I'm going to share. Earlier, I said options can be safer than buying stocks. And let me see if I can prove it here. I haven't looked at the options premiums of Tilray in a while. By the way, if you didn't know that, Tilray is the OG of super spikes. Did you know that it went to 300 on a whim not too long ago? Where is it? There. Boom. Talk about a super spike from bucks to 300. I traded it. I sold puts in it. I'll show you what that means, which means a winning trade. I couldn't book the profits. That's how violent it was. So GME did not invent this. The original was Tilray. So kudos to Tilray in trading it. So let me go check out the options chain for Tilray to see what kind of premiums they have. And let's go to, all right, let's say I love the stock and I want to get long the stock, but I'm afraid. What if it drops to 10? Because it could drop to 10. You know, there's a little, you know, that's where I broke out from. So how can I get long the shares at 14 when it could fall to 10? That's $4 on a base of 14. That's a big drop. So if I buy it now, I would lose money immediately if it drops, right? And if it goes to 10, that's a 30% drop or more. So here's how options are safer in this instant. The markets are at all-time highs. Why can't I have a little buffer between now and then? So if I wanted to own the shares at 10, why don't I sell a put at 12 or 11 for September? Or even better yet, if I just want to go for the whole year, I'll go sell a put at 10 for January. So this has 185 days on the clock. So I could buy shares at 14. And if I wanted to buy 1,000 shares, I would have to spend 14 times 1,000 out of pocket with no protection. If the price falls, I'm losing immediately. Conversely, if I, instead of buying shares, I sell the put, I sell this put, I collect money. What? So $1,200 goes into my account. No money out of pocket. So what happens? I'm committed to buying the shares at 10. So I have room for it to fall 30%, and then maybe I would be given the shares at 10. My break-even point would be under 9. So if I'm okay owning shares under 9, is it not safer than buying 14 grand right here with no protection? Which is safer? No money out of pocket, long at 9, break even at 9, or all the money out of pocket, no protection. You tell me which is safer. It's an absolute fact that it's safer for me to sell this put and commit long at 10 and break even at 9, less than 9 actually, than spending $14,000 to be long those 1,000 shares. So that is the difference of how do I use these fast-moving things called options. I can use them responsibly like I just showed you, or I can just start buying willy-nilly and lose.
Or you can trade them and you can trade the volatility like Rodrigo and be up 145%. But
yeah, buddy.
but that's a risky move, guys, and you got to know what you're doing. And
yeah, but
look,
you had a tight stop, and you would stop yourself out at X%. So people who, it's easy, not people to blame anyone, but it's easy to get suckered into buying something. You hear unusual options activity. They are buying the so-and-so call. No, they are buying and selling, because for every buyer, there is a seller. I don't know the buyer. I don't know the seller. So why should I assume that the buyer is smarter than the seller? Fact. Sellers are smarter than buyers. Why? Because they are the market makers. Market makers rarely ever lose.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really what you're doing here. You're trading with, pretty much trading with the house. So Nic, just show me
Hey,
a little
Rob,
bit, like,
I see you. Sorry. I see an old time name. I got to shout out to Rob.
yeah, there's a lot of active, like current chat members here. Like I said, we do this every weekend. We meet up, we talk about options, we talk about trades, we talk about winning trades, we talk about losing trades. We try to keep it real for you guys. And as always, you know, we always try to hook it up, right? That's just how it is. So Nic, just tell me a little bit about how you use Pro. I mean, you are like pretty experienced, but like, how do you use Pro to find trades? And, you know, I know you've shown me a couple tricks there.
I look at, I have several tabs, and if I'm doing homework, I usually delve into one tab with details. And if I'm looking into two companies, I have two windows open here. And here I always have this SPY imbalance thing, because it's like a curiosity for people. And the cool thing is I can put in keywords. So I was looking for imbalance. So I don't know the exact headline of it. So I typed in imbalance and I tagged it with a SPY, and boom, guess what? All I get here is the market on close imbalance. And then if I wanted to look up pertinent news, I can see it. I can click on it, see the details of it. Good on earnings potential. Like, for me to know what the heck is going on with the earnings report on Netflix, I would have to go slog through the garbage on CNBC. Instead, I can scroll through here and find the headline. That's fact. There's no opinion. There's fact. They're telling me what they did relative to last year. There's no opinion in it. I don't need the opinion. It says Netflix Q2 earnings per share 297 versus the estimate, sales beat the estimate, and then I see versus last year. That's all I need. And then I can form my own opinion and trade without bias of opinion of whoever wrote the article. These are just reporting facts. So this is the most, like, right now, how I would use it tomorrow morning, because I want to trade Netflix. So I also would look for tickers. So if I'm filtering for tickers, if I'm looking for losers, I would set it up to show me only the losers for the day by percentage, by dollar amount. I would filter out the small market cap. Like, if I don't want to deal with market cap companies smaller than 1 billion or 3 or 5 billion, I can move that toggle. It's easy for me to, instead of saying, hey, what's falling today? Let's look at the falling knives. That's how I do it. I go in here and find falling knives. And really, the workspace here shows you what you can do with it. I mean, it's pretty powerful.
The preset, yeah, the presets.
The presets, because I don't know if I have the time to go in and try to structure the unusual options activity. I click on it, boom, it's right here. You have bottled block trades, opening gap, highs, lows, price spikes. You choose it and it goes there. This one defaulted to options activity. And here it shows a different filter that's already built in. I don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of Pro, that, you know, everything is there. It's ready, waiting for you. But absolutely, man, we definitely want to make sure that we can cover everything here. We've gone pretty hard on the options. I know that you guys have enjoyed this, but ultimately, Nic, give us some closing remarks here for you and for you, because you have a lot of chat members here. So give us some closing remarks here so that, you know, we can let you go. I know you're always busy there from 5 in the morning till night. So want to give you some time.
4 in the morning. 4. I live on the West Coast. So I'm lucky to have a bunch of great people in the chat room. I'm lucky to have a great team like Benzinga, and to have found them years and years and years ago. We're lucky to be living in some pretty interesting time, because it's forcing us to learn a whole bunch of new things. Like, I got a bunch of schooling done on the Federal Reserve actions and in order to be smarter traders all around. And here's the best thing. The chat room makes me better because I'm learning new things. I learned harmonics from people in the chat room 2 years ago, and I use them every day. Not as much as I use the rest of the stuff, but it's a new tool that I acquired because of the chat room. Somebody today, I swear to God, I wish I had time, I'd go in and find it. Somebody said, because I popped in and I shared a chart on VUZI, VUZI, and forget the other ticker, also an obscure ticker. I was like, how the hell do you maintain a watch list this big to have these two charts in there? I said, it's not my watch list. The question came from the chat room. So clearly, having more people in there makes our watch list huge. And all these eyeballs looking at these. Hey, Nick, somebody just here. In the stream, I just read somebody, the ARDX or some biotech company that just fell 75% today. That one, how good is that? Somebody said it fell 75%. What do you think? Well, this is an unknown ticker for me, so I would immediately look at it and opine on it. And here's an opportunity that may present itself from just the chat room that we have going on here. So that's the same thing that goes on inside the live chat room we have. So I don't know the company. I'm not going to say buy it, but look where it's falling to, exactly where it was before. So back to base. If you missed it the first time around, maybe that's the time to get into it. But I don't know. I haven't done any homework, so clearly. But that's an illustration as to how powerful a chat room is. Education piece for a whole year. Discussion for a whole year. You want to take a month off, so be it. You're not wasting much. You're going to get your money's worth over a whole year. It's just a powerful medium.
And well, they're getting 6 months for free. So go on a 6-month vacation, and you'll still be doing all right.
Yeah.
But Nick, thank you so much. And
I appreciate it.
Just to everyone who might be a beginner or you have more questions, number one, give our man Rodrigo an email or a call. He'll answer all your questions for you. Also, I'm available as well. And just sign up. And normally there's only a 7-day money back guarantee. But with this particular deal, we're adding an additional 7 days to that money back guarantee. So you have 2 full weeks of going into this chat every day with Nick, looking at the charts, looking at the trading theses, asking questions about specific tickers, just like this. And you know, as soon as that money back period is over, we'll ship a laptop to you anywhere in the world. Also, you know, this is perfect time. Well, I'll get to the swag giveaway in a minute here. But Nick, just want to reiterate, thank you so much. Thanks for all that you do for our community. Don't go away, everyone, because we have a lot more to cover here on Benzinga Pro. And yeah, just thank you again, Nick.
I appreciate it. So if I hang up and leave the studio, will that cut you off because I'm sharing the screen, or you guys are good?
No, you're good. You can just, we'll just remove you from the stream and we'll keep broadcasting here.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
All right, Nick. Thanks, man.
All right. So let's see here. It looks like, you know, we've got a few more people.
Hey, Jonathan, can you share your screen so we can go on Pro?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just
okay.
First, I want to welcome Johnny. Thanks for joining the Benzinga Pro community, Johnny. And then it looks like it's Kathy here. And then I might have said Murthy earlier. Lots of two-syllable names. But welcome. Glad to have you on board. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here for Benzinga Pro.
So, guys, it's about to get down and dirty here with Rodrigo. Not what you're thinking. We're about to start going into the knowledge. We're about to start going and finding really how you can benefit from this tool, right? How did I find this AMC trade? Let's do a walkthrough, Jonathan. As soon as Jonathan is able to put that screen up with the, okay. So just search AMC on the details, because if you just go to the details, it summarizes everything for you. So I've been scoping this for a while. It's not a random trade, but ultimately you have these tools at your disposal. But, you know, this is just, I'm just going to touch on this really quickly, and then we're going to move to the features. Then we're going to move to what's really hot. All right. So scroll down if you can, Jonathan, so that we can show everyone here really, what's going down there on the news feed, right? On the news feed, scroll down a bit. Let's go to July 19th, right? I'm seeing July 19th. There is an article there talking about unusual options activity, and that's actually a BZ Wire alert that we send out. So I'm actually going to pull up here because I have one of these laptops that you guys have. So I'm just going to pull up here, and I use it for all my Benzinga Pro. Just want to mention that is only available with the annual subscription. So yes, you can have your laptop as well, where you can have two different computers at the same time. Ultimately, the faster you can look at the speed and all that stuff, the better. So now there's also an update there, Jonathan, if you can find it there, about a tweet from Jim Cramer.
Yeah, I did see that just a minute ago. I'll bring that
okay.
up.
So if you really pay attention to the news, you can really see that this movement has been building up, right? So Jim Cramer puts a tweet out. Okay, so we are giving you the news from Twitter, right? You don't even have to be on Twitter. We will give you the updates from Twitter, from all of literally the news universe, right? We even have people checking tweets every second. So there's no other place that's doing that. And as you know, tweets can move stocks. Look at Dogecoin. Look at everything else. GameStop. Look at AMC. It's definitely important to stay up to date. That's one of the main benefits with Pro, but that's just a droplet in the ocean of what it gives you. So as you can see, there's also articles about unusual option buying activity, and you basically this will give you a full. If you're ever trying to do research, this is where I would probably start, right? So I look at the ticker, I look at the news, and then you just try to find a good entry at that point. But this is how I was looking into this trade. As you can see, there's block trades there. There's a lot of things that are pulling up there. So Jonathan, if you can, let's pull up the signal tools. That's just something I want to share briefly here with the fellas. And yes, you are able to check earnings, blind trader. We'll touch on that a little bit later if you want, if it's something you really want us to hit on. But just want to make sure you guys know all of this is included in the options mentorship, right? So you will get unusual options activity. You will get halts. You will get opening gaps, 52-week highs, 52-week lows, which ultimately are very bullish. And we'll go over each and every one of these things so that we can, make sure we address everything here. So if we're just doing price spikes, let's say, Jonathan, so let's say we just want to look at price spikes, you can just remove all of the other ones, and it's really that simple, right? You really don't have to complicate yourself. We gather data from dark pools. We gather data literally from every corner of the world. So you have verifiable, accurate data, right? When I first started trading, I was trading on, these websites that their data just wasn't updated. And that's just very irresponsible for you to trade on just data that's not up to date. Like, you don't want to rely putting your money in just data that's expired, right? You just don't want to do that. So let's say if we're looking at price spikes, this is usually what a lot of day traders like to use, because just mathematically speaking, obviously before a stock will go up 10%, it has to go up 5. Before it goes up 15, 20%, it has to go up 10. So you see my point here, right? So if you are into day trading, either on the upside or the downside, having the price spikes is very useful, because that's really how you get in before the pop. So the best thing is that you can filter all of these tools by your watch list, right? So and we're just touching on Pro briefly here because it is an amazing tool, right? You have to use it, and it's included in the options mentorship, right? That way you can get the data, you can process the data, and then you can talk to Nick, and basically you guys start scheming on trades per se. So the price spikes is the favorite ones for day traders or short term swing traders. That way you can get in before the big pop, right? So the other one is the unusual options activity. That one I do like to filter it out by indexes, because I do like to feel out the sentiment. I like to see where option traders are. There's a lot of money that's being moved in options, and best part is there's like actual dates on these. So it does give me like a sense of the sentiment for a certain time, right? And then all you have to do is really match your calendar with that and see, hey, is there a Fed meeting? Is there anything in particular in that day that might be causing this sentiment? So ultimately, this is a signal, an alert, and you can read it beyond what's on the tape, right? So that's where I'm trying to get at. That's where Nic is key, so that you can bounce this with him. So let's say if I'm looking at SPY puts that are, 2 months out, and then I started seeing a whole bunch of NASDAQ puts and a whole bunch of Dow puts and a whole bunch of VIX calls, then, you can add, 2 and 2 together. And if there's something happening around that date, I would just be a little bit cautious, like Nic Chahine was saying. I would try to be a little cautious. I wouldn't be all in the market, but I wouldn't be all out. I would just be cautious, right? So this is something good that helps me look at the sentiment. So that way I'm able to realize, okay, what if it's just the Qs that are getting a lot of puts? Well, I'm going to see if maybe NASDAQ is a little bit stretched out. So obviously we give you the tools and everything, and you do have to do some sort of I guess processing of the data, but that's why Nic is there. So Jane, how is the mentorship structured during trading hours or after hours? So we are there full time every single day. On the weekends, Nic is on vacation and he's still rocking the chat room. He's still giving you guys picks. And ultimately, these are the picks that he's looking at. So I do like the chat room for a lot of reasons. It's synced with the market. As you know, there was a huge shift. I think it was yesterday, we saw that huge drop. And then we're talking about Delta variant here and there. So things can change in a matter of a second. And all the trades that you were putting 2 weeks ago, 5 months ago, 3 months ago, everything just flipped on you right now. So what do you do besides pull your hair and stress out and say that everything is rigged? Well, you equip yourself with the right tools, with the right community, with the right mentor, and that way you'll be able to ease those market shifts. If you're trying to trade by yourself, it's really hard for you to get them all right because there's really no feedback on these trades. So ultimately, you do want to get that, especially if you're new in trading. Like I said before, and I'm going to keep emphasizing it because maybe I can save you some money and a lot of money. Get the education before you go out swinging for the fences, man. Okay? Get the education because you don't want to be the guy that's calling me next week like, hey, man, I didn't get the education. I'm down 200K. And my answer is going to be the same. Well, you should have called me before so we could have hooked you up with the education, get you the laptop, get you hooked up with Nic Chahine, attend the seminars that we have every weekend, be active on the chat room. We're all answering questions to each other as a community. We are all learning from each other ultimately, right? So we have a lot of experienced traders as well. We have a lot of new traders there as well. And, feel free to call me if you have any questions. If you can, Jonathan, help me out, throw there just the contact information. I want to make sure that if you guys have any questions and want to reach out, because ultimately we all come from different backgrounds. I don't know where your background before trading, how you got in there, or what your expectation is of trading, right? That's something very important. What is your expectation? Do you think you're going to win the lottery out of this? Do you really think you're going to be up 145% every time that you make an options trade? Reality is no, but you might think otherwise. So when you're new into the market, there's a lot of things that you might not understand or that truly you just have no clue how they work. And those mistakes are the most expensive, right? And the funny thing is that those are the mistakes that you can actually avoid the easiest. Very simple. You get a mentor, right? But I mean, who gets a mentor like that? Like, hey, man, you want to be my mentor? Like, it doesn't work like that. This guy, Nic, is putting so many hours. Literally, this is his family. Benzinga is his family. He's got a real family, and he's got a Benzinga family, okay? And we are the Benzinga family. You sign up for this program, and it's really like what it's called, a mentorship package where you literally have access to Nic every single day, full-time, in the morning, at night, on weekends, on his birthday, on vacation. I mean, he could even take a trip to space and he'll send you a trade from there, man. So I just want to make sure here that we're all on the same page. Nic is truly going out of his way. As you've seen, if you ask him any questions about any ticker, he will give you a full video. He'll send you a documentary on the company if he has the time. He sends you charts with notes ultimately that's what you want. You want to bounce your trades off somebody that knows a lot more. Honestly, there are so many mistakes that if you really try to do them all like I did, you're just going to end up blowing up your account twice. I didn't learn the first time. I was winging it. I tried to learn it the second time. Couldn't do it. Third time, I'm calling Nick. Yo, Nick, like, I need your guidance here, man. Like, I need to be mentored. So since then, I can tell you that it's been a totally different trip, to be honest, because I'm just not, first of all, I'm not risking 100% of the trade. I do have always his backup. So let's say the trade doesn't work for me. You guys don't know this, but Nick has already saved me a couple times. I've been in some bad trades. He's really helped me out, meaning like I go there into the chat and I'm like, hey, Nick, I bought these calls. I'm underwater. Can you look at the chart? And you tell me, like, how would you get out of this? Or how would you do damage control at that point? So, you know, Nick will give you the suggestions that and the adjustments that you need to make, because options are it's a complex financial vehicle. You know, you might only think there's calls and puts. Well, let me open your eyes here a bit. There's like hundreds of more different strategies besides that. And you got to use each one differently, right? And how are you going to know when to do that? Well, you can either try to experiment and blow up your entire account, or you can listen to somebody that has a verified track record with Benzinga. Like I said, since, you know, like 12 years ago, like Nick is, you know, he's the options king. So Mr. Ape, yes, we do cover dark pools. That is included on the block trades. That is included on the unusual options activity. You know, we really have no filtering if it's because they know something, because you know that sometimes people do buy a lot, like the Kodak thing, right? You know, you got the board of directors loading up on calls, right? So you really never know what's driving the action, but it's just the data sometimes speaks for itself, right? So if we can, let's hit ATVI, Jonathan, and let's put up some block trade settings for ATVI. This is a ticker that I love because, I mean, it's Activision. We all grew up. I grew up playing Call of Duty. I grew up playing like PS4 and all that stuff. So, I mean, you know, this is something that a lot of us, like millennials, young, around their age, we know Activision, and we know they're not going anywhere because kids are still playing this stuff. So in the block trades, not unusual options activity, just the block trades. Can we just pull up the block trades?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, Space Ape, we can look up, I mean, you can put all that stuff there, but I just want to focus really on the block trades, all right? So I'm not sure if maybe we can zoom in a little bit there, Jonathan, on the, okay. So I just want to notice, I just want you guys to look here on July 8th, right? I just want to focus on July 8th. So we're going to read this together, and I want to show you, and we just want to take you through what happened this couple of weeks, all right? So you see ATVI, there's a huge block trade here for $1.7 million. I'm sorry, 1.7 million shares at $92. So you can do the math there, $92 times 1.7 mil, right? First thing. The next thing I'm noticing is there's another block trade, right? A couple days after. I don't know if this was a long weekend or not, but then you have 1.4 million shares at $93, okay? Then you have the same, right? Literally 40 minutes after. So this is an institution. This is a fat cat. This is smart money. These are the big boys scaling in, all right? You want to get in with them. You don't want to go against them. That's for sure. So now you look at literally about what, 50 minutes later, 20 minutes later, they add another 1.4 mil at $93. So as you can see, definitely loading up. This is the definition of loading the bus up. And then you just look at what happens on July 15th, right? So the stock drops $3, and then suddenly whoever this huge, you know, whale is doubles down on the dip, right? I don't know if you can see it there. Literally $90. When it dropped to 90, this institution doubled down and did 2.5 mil at $90. So you better bet that they know something about the company. And at the end of the day, firms have a bunch of analysts and researchers. Like, do you really think you can outbeat their their financial assessment after all the report. They have so many reports, they have so much data. Ultimately, that's really where Benzinga Pro was created, because we level the playing field. Back in the day, only institutions had the information. Then came somebody, Jason Raznick, and said, let's make it fair. And boom, you have Benzinga Pro. And now we have even equity firms who want to use this program. But this was built with retail traders in mind. We are made of retail traders, and literally this is for you guys. So you can see really how the institutions are scaling up. They're scaling in, they're doubling down. This is, I don't know how much more bullish you can get. If you did the math, out of all those million shares, like millions of dollars at that price point, that's the kind of conviction they have. And if we're just going to put in a couple trades, a couple options, a couple stocks, how much conviction do they need to have to put in so much money out of their portfolio? So that is something that I like to use to follow the smart money. And when I mean follow the smart money, there's no retail trader putting this kind of money in. That's not a retail trader. You can guarantee, for sure. So that's the block trades. That's something that you can use if you're trying to maybe go a little bit long or maybe a swing. Ultimately, these tools, you can use them in many different ways. You have to get creative maybe sometimes, in a sense of okay, what's going on here? They doubled down, or they added more shares. If you are really convinced in the stock, then that's just confirmation. And that's really what you're looking for here. You want to get confirmation. Right now, we're looking at a block trade. Let's say if we look at something different, like unusual options activity, and let's say we see a huge sweep call buy. Well, what do you know? You got a bunch of those there too, right? So, so you can see there all the call sweeps at the bid or at the ask, open interest, price of the stock of the underlying. Ultimately, once you get so many and that's really what it is. That's really what it is. You get confirmation here. You get confirmation there. You get confirmation here. It matches your thesis. It matches the date. Take that data. Talk to Nick about it, because ultimately you do want to filter your thesis. You want to test it out, but don't test it out with any wacko on Reddit or any of these, public pump and dump chats, man. Verify and filter your thesis with a verified mentor, with a verified professional like Nic Chahine that ultimately goes to bat for you every day. For example, there are people that, might charge you an eye out of the face just to send you a quick text, and this is the alert you get. Nick is literally sending you a full game plan in the morning, every morning, even if he's on vacation. From what I've seen, he's answering every question that you have. And if you do have a question about a ticker, he's basically going to send you a full chart with technicals, with notes, with analysis. And if enough people ask about it, he's going to do a video and he's going to go deeper. He's going to take a deeper dive. But ultimately, that's a mentorship, right? Nick needs to know what you need to improve, where you the questions that you have, and that's where we can go. So, Chris, if you get the options mentor plan, does it include Benzinga Pro as well, or is it an add-on? This for tonight only. Just want to make sure we're all here on the same page, no doubts. For tonight only, 50% off the options mentorship, which includes Benzinga Pro. It includes unusual options activity. It includes block trades. It includes spikes, gaps, 52-week highs and lows. It includes everything that we've gone over. It includes every single scanner that we have. This is all proprietary patented technology that is inside Benzinga Pro that we even have to sometimes license out. For example, we have Benzinga exclusives that companies come to us and they ask us about, literally, hey, Benzinga, can we do a PR with you guys? You guys have such a loyal community. You guys have such a strong base. And ultimately, we're global. We're an international company. We have subscribers from all over the world. And, that it's a community. That's what it is. So, if a company wants to do a PR and they do it through Benzinga, that's called a Benzinga exclusive. And it obviously, it goes out to, members on Pro. Ultimately, it goes out to all the other brokerages, but you do have that speed that you are, every second counts when you're talking about PR breaking news. let me just show you this. Jonathan, let's go to Alf. Let's look at Alfie. I think they did a PR with Luke, actually. And just to cut, I just want you guys to know, I don't have any positions on this company. I used to have, but ultimately, like, this is a company that I'm very bullish on, not just because of the news, but really because of the sector that it's in. So really, I think we broke the news when it was about $7, I think. Ultimately, it went all the way up to $22. So there's no options in this one, but you know, as traders, we got to make money wherever we can. So literally, and if we can show the date there, Jonathan, just like, all right, so we're looking at the dates. So that thing you see in red on the left side, that is pretty much, you know, the news that's coming out from Benzinga. As you can see, it says exclusive there. So that means that it is coming from us. We are breaking the news, and ultimately, speed is important for trading. You want to get in early. You want to get in before the big pop. Could have easily made a 300% gain on that. And all you had to do was, you know, look at the news feed that it's giving you. And that's it. Read the interview. We were talking about Alfie even before $7. So there were people that got in before 7, Jonathan. So I don't know. Do you like 300% gainers? Because I love them, dude.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of different trading strategies that you can use. I mean, Nick is very conservative. You know, he's all about protecting his capital. So, you know, it's a great way to make sure that you don't lose, you know, a large percentage of your account using those structured option trades from Nick. But what I want to point out here is that there are other chat rooms on here as well. And there are not official mentors, but there are people with decades of trading experience that you have access to just for being a part of the Benzinga Pro community. So like here in the BZ day trading chat, they're talking about stocks they are day trading. You can see here they have a few tickers that they say are worth watching throughout the day. And they're chatting here pretty much all day, all night. Also on our help site, some people were asking about tutorial videos earlier. You want tutorials? We have a whole library of tutorial videos. In addition, we also have different strategy outlines. Maybe you're just getting started. You want to fine-tune your strategy, or you want to diversify your strategy. Well, here we've got unusual options activity strategy, analyst rating stock picks, buy the dip, simple gap and go. And so there are some strategies where the news, you know, you want to be protected against the volatility of news. You just want to collect that premium. But there's other opportunities where if you know what you're doing and you're disciplined, you can definitely use the news to capture those gains, to capture that volatility and make money off of it. So you can see we have screenshots here, how to set up your workspace, all the different indicators to use, and specific examples. So once you're in here, you can very quickly access that help site, or you can also access me and Rodrigo. We're here for you. We've got a whole team of people here for you, and you can always access us or even our news desk team if you want to know why a stock is moving or do some additional research.
Yeah, so ultimately what Jonathan is trying to say is that we have the best customer service, customer support in the world, right? But obviously that's a given. I usually don't touch on that because, I mean, you can, the proof is in the pudding. Look at what we're doing here, right? We're going hard for you guys. 9:50 p.m. I know a lot of people are already sleeping, but guess what? Congratulations here, because you guys are investing in your education. We are happy that you're here because we love seeing this. It just shows us that there is a want, there is a need, and that you guys like seeing these kinds of videos and this kind of content. So we appreciate that you're here trying to take your options trading seriously. That's what we're all doing here. So just make sure to take advantage of the 50% off and the laptop, because I just went through a whole hassle with Jason to get these 50 damn laptops. So we got to get these laptops out. All right. So there's so many features here, Jonathan. Maybe you want to touch on some of the I mean, these guys, they know they get the best customer service, right? But let's show them how to make money, okay? What can they use, Jonathan, to make money? That's what they want to hear.
Absolutely. Space Ape had a great question here, and I do not think it's a dumb question. I think it's a great question. You know, there are thousands of news items that come out every day. Sometimes it seems like it's positive, and then the floor falls out and it crashes. How are you able to tell the difference between these different types of news items? And on the news feed for Benzinga Pro, one of the most unique things that I've seen is the opportunity to filter the news feed by categories. So I'm just giving you the categories right now. The reason I found these is I used our mover scanner day in and day out, and I started to realize, certain types of categories are associated with these 10, 20, 50, 100% moves on a daily basis. Maybe I should pay attention to those. And so here are a few that I like to use, and this is in response to Space Ape's question. The way you really know is by looking in the past and seeing how certain types of stocks react to certain types of news. So in this case, I just know that for the types of stocks I'm looking at, initiations and upgrades can be bullish catalysts depending on the day. Don't use analyst ratings if it's a bloodbath out there. But in general, if it's a green day and you have a strong price target on an initiation, it can definitely be likely to pop. Then I want to follow economics. We were talking earlier about exclusives and market moving exclusives.
So all that is just you're filtering a news feed, just to clarify. Okay, so filtering the news feed, guys, is going to be your best friend. So Jonathan is filtering it right now like a general market, but I'm going to tell you what's even better. You can build your watch list and filter everything by your watch list. So how would Space Ape be able, we can even create a quick watch list here. So you know what? Here's what we're going to do, guys. Show me some tickers in the chat. We're going to build a watch list for today, and we're just going to ramp through it, all right? Throw some tickers in the chat, all right? 1, 2, 3, and I want to see some tickers there. We're going to build this watch list for you. We're going to see what you're looking at so that you can see what you would be looking at if you would have this, maybe something that, you missed out. Because there's times where I've seen people that, they try to find information somewhere else. They don't find it. They look on Pro. I show it to them on Pro, and they're like, wow, man, I could have banked on that. I didn't know. Well, let's stop talking about what ifs and let's start taking action. Let's take our education seriously, because you do need it. Don't be the guy that's down 100K and then you look for the education. It's the other way around. I don't know why somehow these things got mixed up, but that's how it has to be. You need the education, because otherwise you're going to lose the whole account, probably lose, twice, and maybe never have, or who knows till when, access back to the markets. So you got to stay around. So we got some tickers here, Jonathan. Let me know when. Okay, you got it. Apple, Tesla, GE. Smash that like, Chris. You know it. Smash that like, baby. Great education. We're going all night here, 3 a.m. with Mallard. BZ after hours, baby. GMC. You know it. I'm on AMC. All right. I got calls in stock. So we're going hard there. We ain't got, there's no paper hands in this room. All right, guys. Let's just to clear the air here. All right. I'm with you guys. I'm part of the apes. I'm part of the community, guys. New Egg. Did we get that one in there? That one made a huge run. Nokia. All right. That's another one. That's not Nokia. NLOK. I think that's some security, cybersecurity one.
Yeah, Northern LifeLock.
Yeah, Northern. I just remember that thing in my computer when I was like a kid. Like that thing always popping up like, your thing expired. It's like, okay, I know, dude. Like, I got stuff to do. All right, I'm working. It's like 5 minutes later. Hey, just want to remind you.
So we throw all these in here, right? And there's a lot that you can do here. You can click directly into these tickers from your watch list and just click through those, check out the charts, check out the news from your watch list. You can also sort of use this as a trading journal if you want to, because you can take notes within your watch list and then look back and say, oh, why was I looking at this? What were my price targets, my stops, etc.
Due diligence.
And then you can set alerts for these companies. So notice how there's this bell symbol here within the watch list tool. I can click on that, set my sound alerts, set my real-time email alerts. That way, every time there's a news item on one of those companies, I'll hear it through my computer or get it via email. Now that we have this watch list, we can use it to filter our news feed, signals, unusual options, you name it. And so I don't even have to keep this open. This exists now within my watch list tool. So I'm closing that. And then I go over here to my news feed. I can reset these filters. And notice how there's a watch list filter. So as soon as I check one of these boxes where it says Tuesday watch list, now I'm only going to see news on these companies. I click done. And then if I set one of those sound alerts, I would see the news item appear automatically. I don't have to refresh it or anything. And I would hear that alarm go off within Benzinga Pro. So we could just scroll down here and we could see many of the news items that would be correlated with volatility on those stocks. And so if I click on this, I just really quick wanted to show when you're clicking through these headlines, you have these category tags here for FDA, healthcare. That's why I had some of those favorite category tags, because I know FDA, healthcare, contracts, asset sales, analyst upgrades, these are going to move stocks on a daily basis.
For sure. I mean, that's
I can keep going.
Well, I mean, so I wanted to build the watch list so that we can go over the signals with them because it's filtered.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
So then we go over to signals, wherever that is. Here we go.
Yeah. So let's just do block trades right now. Let's just see what smart money's doing. All right. Let's take a sneak peek into Wall Street and see what these fat cats are buying. All right. And this is filtered by your watch list, all right? So we're looking for block trades. So AMC, what do you know, man? Is that what it is? So, all right. So you can see there's some block trades there. Let's do some options activity there as well. Okay, so there's a lot of tickers there we got in there. Let's just try to see what we find here from the quick one, right? So on the top, Jonathan, you can maybe zoom in a little bit there so that we can see what we are looking at on the tape. So this is something you might want to do in the mornings, in the afternoon, on a Friday, after some sort of like important news. So, I mean, you're looking at right here, the alerts, right? You're looking at the sweeps, you're looking at the type of trade, you're looking at the dates, earnings after earnings, you're looking at the OI. Ultimately, we built a pretty big watch list for you guys here, but this is really going to give you a good idea of what options people are buying, right? And this is not just retail. This is also smart money. You have some pretty huge buys here as well. So this is something, I mean, as an options trader, I do like to look at the unusual options activity. I don't do anything without looking at it. Like I was looking at a couple of unusual options activity for AMC today, and it just gave me certain confirmation that I think that's just going to go to the moon tomorrow. And I'm probably going to sell my calls at the pop, but that's really what it is, right? So these calls expire very soon. This is just a trade. I'm not like, I have a little bit of stock, but ultimately what I'm trying to emphasize here is you having the data, the tools in there, and the chat room, right? So if we can go to the chat also, because I want to show them a couple things there, Jonathan. As I get the data, as I get the information, I go all the way back to the chat, right? And I just bounce ideas with Nick. Like, hey, Nick, I'm looking at, there's a lot of put buying here for September, right? There's a lot of put buying for the Qs at this specific date. So really, that's what you want to do, especially if you're new. There's a lot of new people here, a lot of new traders. And, honestly, you do have to, for now, I would definitely highly suggest that you do bounce your trades with Nick, because you might be there, locked up in a room, looking at 100 charts, no feedback, trading in a vacuum. And then you're like, oh my God, let me buy calls at the top. If you keep doing those kind of mistakes, eventually you will get wiped out. So trying to help you out, get education, because, it's good to say, I mean, everybody says once they're down, so much, they're like, man, what, I should have gotten the education. And then they get a little bit of money and they're like, they don't get the education, all in calls, lose everything. And like, they just get mad at themselves for not doing the right thing. And that's just natural as humans because, you know, like we just want to make money, right? That's just the greedy part of humans, right? It's a flaw, it's a gift, call it whatever you want, but you do need the education at least to get started. So the chat is really all for that. So Jonathan, you mind scrolling up over the chat, maybe zooming in there so that we can just read a little bit the interaction for the day?
They're talking about neuro here earlier after the pop. And then some short squeeze stocks.
Let's go to the first message because Nick sends a game plan. Let's just start from the top. So we're going to take you through the day on the chat room here.
I'm in the wrong chat room. I was on the BZ day trading. I'm like, where's Nick? All right, here we go. So as you can see, there's a lot of interaction here. All these charts that he's posting, other than his daily game plan with the videos, these are all in response to questions. So I mean, throughout the day, if you ask a question, he's either gonna, chart it out for you, give you some additional commentary, or create a video for you. Just scrolling here. I just didn't want to skip it. Sorry about the wait there. Let's see here. Hey, look, we were talking about TLT earlier. He's got Google in there.
So, I mean, that's a pretty long. So you see Jonathan has been scrolling for like 15 minutes and we still haven't gotten to the first chat of the day. So you want to talk about community. You want to talk about like really switching trades, scheming trades, talking about options, feedback, bouncing trade ideas. This is the definition of that. On top of that, you know with full certainty that these are all Benzinga subscribers, part of the family, part of the community. And that's something that, quite honestly, man, you're not going to find in Reddit or any of these other places, because at this point you got a bunch of fake bots and you got pump and dumps, and you got hedge funds hiring people to orchestrate pump and dumps and all that stuff. So you want to stay with a community that really has your best interest at heart. Reddit, it's not their business model, okay? Benzinga's business model is helping the retail trader. Ultimately, that is our end goal. That's why we're building all these tools for you. So Nick is saying good morning. We got Rich Perkle. Rich Perkle signed up, I think, yesterday with us. So shout out to Rich.
Rich in the house.
AJ in the house as well. Like, I know a lot of those guys there, and they're all super cool people. They all take, the education seriously, because you have to do it, right? People don't like to lose money. If you want to lose money, go ahead, man. Gamble. Try to get that lottery ticket. Try to get rich in like 2 days. And you're just going to learn what everybody's been telling you not to do. But, some people have to learn that way. Hopefully you don't have to learn that way. You get the education first. And that's ultimately why we're here. So let's look at some. Okay, so Nick right there is going over X, decent play. He's answering. Let's click on that, Jonathan. So when you click on this, right? So Nick is basically giving you a full chart analysis there. Like, I mean, and he doesn't even know you. He's doing all this for you. Like, you just ask about a ticker, and he really goes all in. This is literally the same trading recommendation that he would give his mother, okay? He wouldn't give you a trade that he wouldn't put. Guaranteed. Like, that has the Nic Chahine approval, okay? So as you can see, I mean, that's really as good as it can get, right? He's giving you the alert, the perfect timing to get in, shorting against prior fail levels, tight stop if they go above the box. I mean, it just can't get any clearer than that. Entry, exit, what to look out for, price volume, price activity. I mean, okay, reminder, I sold $9 puts last year and it fell to $9.45 just to keep you tethered to reality. So he's also letting you know risk management, okay? Risk management. You don't hear a lot about that these days. But on top of that, not sure if you guys know, there is a 14-day money-back guarantee with the options mentorship. So ultimately, you can sign in, trade with Nick, make some money. And I mean, if it goes well, I don't see why you'd leave. But if that's you just want to get free education for 14 days, try it out. I don't think you're going to leave once you've made that money, because you don't want to leave money on the table. But that's your call. We are so confident in this product that we're literally doing this 14-day money back guarantee. If you ask me, this is so good, we don't even need to do that. But hey, we are here. We want to make sure that this is for you. We want to make sure that you're ready for the education, that you're ready to take it seriously. So ultimately, that's why you have all these tools there. Price spikes, block trades, unusual options activity, a fully equipped chat room so that you can, and just so you know, even though Nick has to sleep, unfortunately, we have a lot of members worldwide that maybe they're in California or they're in Dubai or Australia, Russia, China, wherever. But we always have a community there that's just scheming trades, man. Day in, day out. I was there doing some late work one day, and there were people scheming on trades. So I always have it. I always have my chat room open.
Awesome. And Pedro's asking here, is there a monthly payment or a monthly option? You're not going to get the laptop immediately if you go with the monthly option, but I actually just got approval. Some of you might not be ready to take that full leap, even though it's an amazing deal. It's the 1683 for the whole year with the laptop, everything you need to learn how to trade and or just use this data and the chat room to trade. We're going to even give you 50% off of the monthly option. Now, hear me out here. It's still going to be more expensive over the course of the year if you go with the monthly option and you don't get the laptop right away. But if you stick with us for a full year, then we're still going to give you a laptop. Now, you'd have to wait for a full year for that laptop. But we just want to spread the love, even if you're like, man, there's no way whatsoever that I'm going to take advantage of this deal. Well, at least we could still make it more doable for you. Use that same code NIC50 on the monthly, and it'll cost you maybe $500 more over the course of the whole year. But at least then you can at least participate, start making money with us, and then we could always see what we can do for you. Rodrigo will see what he can do for you on the annual later on in your subscription. But the annual is definitely the best deal over the course of the year.
Of course it is, man. You get the laptop right away, and then you can start, scheming your trades there. Like I've gotten these laptops, and look, Pedro, there has to be it has to be right. It has to be the right time to get into the market. You need to be in the right position to get into the market. Ultimately, if you try to swing by getting free things and on having 30 tabs open, try to find this there, the other thing on the other side, 30 days past due data. I mean, you're not doing yourself a favor. It's all like the market. Why are you tilting it even more against you by not getting the tools that you need? You have to balance the field. That's really what this is all about. That's why we have so many tools here. Like, I don't know anything else that can compare to this. And literally my entire trading game, it just totally changed. And how do you know? Well, you start having more green trades than red days. So
yeah. If you pay us for the whole year, you're asking if you pay for the whole year. Well, we'll ship the laptop as soon as the refund period is over. I mean, let's be honest, we can't do all that shipping back and forth. So make sure it's a good fit for you. Get on a phone call with Rodrigo. We'll even set up a custom workspace for you. I mean, Rodrigo will probably be talking to 100 people, so I'll help out too. I'll make time for it. And then, once you're sure, yes, this is obvious. Nick has a 90% win rate. I could definitely make money with this. Then, okay, 14 days is up. We'll mail you the laptop, and you should have it within 7 to 14 business days.
Yeah, so and I do want to point out why we actually included a laptop. This is not some Oprah show, guys. There's a reason why we put a laptop, all right? Let me dig into it. A lot of people underestimate the power of a laptop, man. You can start a business. You can put a trading journal. You can have a Word document. You can put down your mistakes and just do checkups on what you're doing. This has to be, if I'd be you, this would be my trading platform, really, where I would only have pro, only have educational content about stocks, only have notes, trading journals, things that I can literally use for my trading. Personally, I wouldn't put any of these social media things there. I would just stick to using it for trading, right? When you want to take trading seriously, like you got to be serious about it, period. Like there's no ifs and buts. If you're trying to take shortcuts, hey, when your account's down 50%, you know you're not taking it seriously, right? So ultimately, it's hard for me to tell you, hey, you're not doing it right, but you know better than me. If you are listening to this and you've been trading and you're down and you have no idea why you're still down and you think you're still doing everything right, there will come a point where you're going to have to get the education or you get wiped out of the market. I'm talking from experience, but if you want to try it out for yourselves, go ahead. I don't want you to do that. I want you to get the education before you make all those mistakes so that you don't make those mistakes. Because if one mistake costs you $1 grand, the other one costs you 2, the other one costs you 3, the other one costs you 2 again, like how you can't keep on taking these hits, man. And the hits get bigger. Why? Because then you start doing revenge trading and then you start going bigger and then your mind starts messing with you. So, and I mean, would you really be that person with a community? That seems more like a subconscious thought where it's like, I need to get my money back. I got to go all in, you know? But it doesn't sound like,
the
hey,
psychology
Nick,
is huge.
yeah, it's just you. That's what I'm talking about, man. Trading in a vacuum. But if you actually, let's say, bring that information, you talk to Nick like, hey, Nick, these are my thoughts. This is my position. I'm underwater. What do you do? Like, what can I do here? That is the best way to approach this. And ultimately, I know a lot of you guys have been in that situation where you're down, you try to get in harder, and then you're down more, and who knows, maybe you're just wiped out of the market. Wouldn't it have been nice to have a mentor who would have told you like, yo, dude, don't do that. Like, try doing this other trade, or just, you know, try looking at this other way of trading it. Ultimately, we don't know what we don't know, right? So, I mean, I'm not saying be hard on yourself because you didn't know, but at least at the most basic, try to get the education, because I've seen a lot of things out there on YouTube and Twitter, and ultimately, like, I don't get any of the education from like these, you know, little 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds that think they're trading gurus, and they're like, oh my God, and they post all these videos with these faces. I don't know if you've seen that, like, oh my God, like you see those videos. So all that stuff, man, you got to weed that out, man. And you got to really trade with people that have a verified track record. Stop trying to learn from little fake social media profiles or these little 18-year-old kids on YouTube, man. Nic Chahine is the options expert, the only guy that I would trust my money with. 12 years of verified experience with Benzinga, which is focused on retail trading. That's what I'm talking about. That's the person that I want to learn from, okay? I want to learn from somebody that knows, not from somebody that's just trying to get a YouTube like and you know, subscribers. This is real education that we're going for. So a lot of people have, you know, I've even have testimonials. People call me and thank me, like, you know, they call me, hey, Rodrigo, my mom just wants to say thank you for, you know, getting us in this. And it's, I guess that's what it is. People are really, you know, taking advantage of the education. And when I get those calls, that's how I would love for every, you know, like every person who gets in here, I'd like for it to be where you got the education before, and then you make the gains, and then you understand really why you did it, right? Oh, well, that's what Rodrigo was talking about. Call him before I'm down 50K. Yeah, like that's what he meant. So now you see that this is happening in real life. This is not a stigma. Like, you need to get the education. If you don't, like, it could come expensive. It did to me. I mean, how many times until you get blown up and have no access to the markets? That's up to you. But I promise you that if you do sign up for this mentorship, the way that you look at things is just totally going to change, because you're going to start looking at things like a pro. I mean, Nick is going to show you and train you how to look at things like he does, and that ultimately is going to give you that power. This AMC trade I took, it was based fundamentally on technicals. Who showed that to me? Nick. Okay, and I got into this for a trade. I got $50 calls expiring 3 days from now and 10 days from now. Do you think I'm long? Like, do you think I'm trying to hold this forever? No, these things expire like tomorrow. So I have to be quick with my money. I have to, you know, sell on the pop. I can't be thinking these things go on forever. Who taught that to me? Nick. And ever since I've been listening to him, well, let's just say my trades have been greener than usual, okay?
And we can definitely help out setting up custom workspaces. Go ahead, throw one in the chat. If you've already talked to me or Rodrigo or one of our teammates on the phone, we will definitely be here for you. And just give us a call. You know,
That's what they want. They want a group demo. We'll give you a group demo. Schedule it. Call me. I'm gonna get Jonathan on the line. If you all guys want to be there, we will do the next time we come up here. We'll do whatever you guys want us to do. Let's do that, right? We are gonna do what you guys want. Do it here live in front of everybody whenever you know, we get together. Ultimately, like, this is what we're doing right now. We are setting up workspaces. We're going over features. That is literally what we're doing now. So this is how your pro is going to look, except for the buy and sell, which those are beta features that we're working here. So meaning we don't have a timeline on that, but like that's not available for like the normal like subscriber. That's only because Jonathan works at Benzinga, so he does have the beta platform, which does allow us to, so that's why I just wanted to point that out in case you guys are asking us later. But yes, that's what we're doing here. So with whom can I talk, Rodrigo? You can talk to me all day, every day, man. Mentorship for how long? As long as you want it, man. 1 year subscription, get that laptop, get in there, man, and start learning, man. Learning, making money. Like, who doesn't want to do that? So I'm gonna drop here my information so you can contact me, Michael. All right. Okay, cool. And I'm just gonna throw my email here because I already have a bunch of emails from you guys, and I will get back to all of you. I promise. I will. I always do. And we can talk about where you're coming from with your trading, so that way we can see how this can benefit you the most. But Jonathan, I want to hear a little bit from you on the pro side. Can you show me a feature that you think is useful for people that are starting out? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked a lot about options today, but I also talked to a lot of people that are just starting to trade and want to learn how to day trade. Some of you might be swing traders as well, and Nic's strategy is good for swing trading or day trading. But right here on our help site, we have a section called Strategy Outlines. And if you are new and you want to learn how to day trade, I would say go down to the simple gap and go strategy. This is not the end all be all. There are lots of other great strategies, but it's simple. You can wrap your mind around it, and you can start to recognize certain building blocks of building a winning trading strategy. And people do make money with this strategy day in and day out. So as you can see here, we really start with the movers tool, which just shows us the biggest movers, that are moving in a certain direction within a certain time frame.
Can we show this to them in pro? Can we actually show them this in pro? Because I think it's better for them to see it in real action.
Yeah, I don't know why I was on a stupid PDF. You're completely right.
Yeah, that's like a help. If you guys need help, you can go in there, look at some strategies. Ultimately, this is where the action is in Benzinga Pro, where the community is. If you want to talk to somebody right now, Options Inner Circle is open. We're open on a Sunday, we're open on the weekends, and that's how it is. So ultimately, everything you want to do is inside Pro, because we actually made this just for you as an options trader, as an options beginner, as an options expert, whatever you are. All these tools are going to help you trade. So it's just that I love Pro so much that it just has everything inside there, but we can do the movers. I think it's on the left side.
So once you're inside of Benzinga Pro, there's this choose a recommended workspace area, and then you go down to the second row. It says the What's Moving Scanner workspace. So you just click on that, and it launches that. And it looks like I have to reload this because sometimes it does that when it switches over to the after hours session. But what I'm going to look at here, once this reloads, is the pre-market movers from this morning. So I want to see the stocks that were going up or going down the most before 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And why do we do that? Well, it's very easy to quickly go through all of these. I just collapse those filters, and I can just start clicking through the different tickers and immediately see why is that stock moving, what does the chart look like, and what is the news associated with that chart. So what I would be doing is I would click over the chart tab on the details tool, and I would set this to the 5-minute time frame. Now, when you're first on here, you're just going to see D for day time frame, but you can click on this drop down and select whatever time frame you want, and then star those to lock that in the upper left corner of your chart. So I like looking at a 5-minute chart just to get a lay of the land in the pre-market there. And so basically, I would start drawing out these support and resistance levels with a horizontal line tool. I don't know what was going on there with this one red candle. But since I'm here, I'll just go ahead and follow this through. And I always like to look to the left as well. Like, do you think it's just a coincidence that it goes up to this orange line, goes down again, and then it comes up to that exact same line later on in the extended trading session? Granted, there is this anomaly here, but then I would also draw out any support levels. What are the lows in the pre-market? Well, I would draw out this low, and then what is a consolidation area? Consolidation just means that basically the stock price is not going up or down a lot. It's just kind of going sideways over the course of time. And so without getting overcomplicated here, I might add an indicator. I like using the 9 EMA. That's exponential moving average. Some people like to use Bollinger Bands or Keltner channels, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw an indicator on here and type in EMA, moving average exponential. And it's kind of hard to read here, so I'm also going to change the color of that. So I click on this gear cog, change it to yellow, make it a little bit easier to read here. And now I have basically the 9 EMA. It's a very tight support or resistance level. It's tracking the price action over a certain period of time. And so what I would be looking for on a gap and go here is many times it does sell off, just like it does right here. I mean, think about it. If your stock was, okay, this is a bad example because it was down 73%. Normally, I'd be looking at stock that is up 73%. But still, this is a good example of how it pretty much respected that support level from the pre-market. I mean, who knows? Was it going to go down to 50 cents? We didn't know. But since it had respected that support level earlier on in the pre-market session, it did indeed sell off again to that level. And then even though it was, a bloodbath out there, it did work its way back up to that 207 level a few times throughout the day. So so this, I don't know why I was on a stock that was down 73% for a gap and go, but this might be a better example here with Neurobo Pharmaceuticals. Again, you just draw out those support and resistance levels, and then you're looking for it to break through those levels on high volume. For you beginners out there, the volume is represented by those green and red sticks, not these ones up in the middle of the chart, but at the very bottom of the chart. So you want to see lots of trades being made, lots of shares being traded, so that those bulls, the people who are buying shares, are punching through that resistance. And you can see how volume came in here later on in the day.
Beautiful, man.
A very nice size move right there.
That's beautiful. So, Jonathan, let's talk more about the mentorship here. So, how does the mentorship help new options traders? Because this is you have these tools, guys. If you do want to go out on your own, if you do want to find your own trades, but ultimately, the mentorship with Nic Chahine is really where you want to, base this right. You're talking about options. You want to trade with the options experts. That's Nic. So that's why if you go to the chat room, that's really where you'll find.
Before we get there, there's like 2 questions about the scanner here. Number one, Space 8, our scanners start at 4 a.m. Eastern time. Most brokerages don't start until 7 a.m. So it starts at 4 a.m. Eastern time. Also, do we have a pre-market volume scanner? Yes. That would be the scanner tool. We actually have 3 different types of scanners: movers tool, scanner tool, and signals tool. What you want for pre-market volume is the scanner tool. And it's not going to show us data here for the short-term preset, but you want to go to the 5-minute movers preset. I'll just go to overall gainers so that you can see what the data looks like. And then you want to go to filters. So on the filters, you can filter it by 1-minute volume. So you want to see, all right, I only want to see stocks that are trading 100,000 shares or more within the past 1 minute. You just type in 100K. And if I do that right now, all of these will disappear because we're not trading. But you can see it's immensely flexible, and you can change any of the parameters here on the scanner. So, yeah, sorry to cut you off there, Rodrigo. I just wanted to get those questions answered before we went back to the options mentorship chat here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, guys, what do you guys want to know about options? Just want to know if you guys want us to stay here. We can, right now, we're pretty much in a Q&A. So just wrapping things up here. If you guys have any questions about the subscription, we're going to be here for a couple minutes. Just want to make sure that we can get any questions you have about the options mentorship answered. We're going to be here for a couple minutes. So just let us know if you guys have any final questions before we wrap it up for the day here, guys.
Yeah, and just know, we're here right now, but you can always reach our team through that blue bubble in the bottom right corner of Benzinga Pro. You can reach our sales team, support team, news desk. You just click send us a message, or of course, we already gave you Rodrigo's email and phone number there. So our whole team is available to help. Yeah, go ahead, Rodrigo.
Yeah, so Space Ape, the discount expires at midnight. So you got about an hour, 30 minutes for the code to expire. So with the laptop, right? So the laptop is only for the annuals, right? Obviously, you get it right now. So if you want a laptop ASAP, get on the annual subscription. If you want the education right now and be able to use your laptop for that, maybe you're just using your phone, or maybe your laptop is missing keyboards, right? Or missing some stuff. I've heard that. So, if it helps you, great. That's the whole point of it. Pedro, yeah, well, I mean, next weekend, I can't promise anything, brother. Why don't you just get it today and use the 14-day money-back guarantee? I mean, it's the same thing. Let's see. Blind Trader, great show. Thanks. Have a great night. You too.
Thank you, Space Ape. Thank you. We received that. You're welcome. And we're glad to have you on here.
When would you get out of GE before Friday? Jew Baby Productions. I don't know, man. I don't know where you're at. I don't know. Obviously, this is something I feel maybe Nick would be the best guy to answer, but he's in the chat room. Pedro, laptop would help, but I prefer to learn. Yep, you can learn with a laptop too. That's what it's for. Ultimately, it's a lot of people need it, and it helps out with the trading. But that's what the laptop's for, man. Have your trading journal. Write down notes. I'm old school. I like to write down notes, but it gets crazy sometimes, and I need a laptop for sure. All right. So
why don't you calling your broker with a rotary phone or something, Rodrigo? So you're writing down those notes.
Yeah, I mean,
of course, you're laptop. All right, everybody. I hope that you got something that you could take away from tonight's presentation and apply to your trading strategy tomorrow. Hopefully, you're taking advantage of Nic Chahine with his 90% win rate, being able to ask him about any question. Sorry we didn't have the answer to your question about GE before Friday, but you should just ask it in the chat for Nick tomorrow morning.
You know what? Let's just go ahead. Let's pull up a chart of GE. All right, let's hook this guy up. Give me a chart, Jonathan. We're about to go hard. You thought we were leaving? You really thought we were going to leave? Good one, guys. Psych. We're not going anywhere. We're going hard. That's how we do. AMC to the moon, baby. Paper hands. Not here. Not here. So let's look at GE, man. Let's do a little charting here in Pro, because this is where I do all this stuff. Please note, I am not Nic Chahine. I am Rodrigo. And I will just give you my 2 cents on this thing. Give me a longer data chart, please. Let's do a daily chart. And just keep in mind, we're doing everything here in Pro. All right? We're doing everything here in Pro. You guys thought we were leaving? Nope. We're going hard for you guys. Who asked the question about GE?
That was Jew Baby Productions.
Jew Baby Productions. All right, Jew Baby. We got you. Who is Nick, and can I talk with him tomorrow? Absolutely, Michael. I think we already threw okay, everybody look at the screen in the bottom. There's my information. I already have like a couple of emails from you guys. So call me, message me, hit me up. Like, let's talk about your options journey. I want to hear about you, all right? So, hell yeah, Rodrigo, AMC, Ooga Booga, Apes, stand strong together. Yes. Space Ape. I only bought it because of the Benzinga alert this morning. Okay. That's more than enough, man. All you need is one trade to make bank. And then, I mean, you get on the alert. That's good. So let's look at GE. That is a daily chart. Is that a daily chart, Jonathan?
Correct. Yes.
All right, man. So I need you to work with me here. All right. So you see March. All right. Big dip there on March. So Jonathan was kind enough to draw these lines there, which, I mean, there's a lot of price activity around that. It looks like there's a lot of people there's indecision, right? I look at that as indecision. Does it want to go up? Does it want to go down? Keeps getting rejected here, keeps finding support there. Like, what the hell are you going to do, man? But the funny thing here is that it actually like took a pretty big dip there, GE. And I know this was a stock that was big on reopening. Let's try to zoom in there, Jonathan, if you can, please. Let's show a couple months there, maybe 4 or 5 months.
You said zoom
farther
in.
back. Okay.
Oh, zoom out.
No, zoom in. Yeah, it is a big green candle. I know what you mean. So zoom a little bit more if you can.
Like
okay.
This?
So there was a massive drop here. That's a huge gap. Put that mouse there. So, all right, that gap, I don't know the research on this company, but we are lucky enough that we have the WIM tool at the top. Jonathan, I can't read that. What does it say? Share.
Shares the companies in the broad industrial space are trading higher amid overall market strength. The stocks rebound after dipping Monday on Delta variant concerns. So just an overall, that's really just an overall market commentary there. But all I gotta say is gaps get filled.
Not always. There's also a certain thing to it. But I do want to show one thing else. Q2 earnings, we have a calendar that lets you know when earnings are coming up. So you know about the price activity. And earnings are very volatile. So you know that if earnings are coming, you better get ready. So Jonathan's talking about gaps. He says they always get filled. They get filled 85% of the time. Not always. So, but this one got filled, right? So if it got filled, is it going to keep on going up? Like, let's look at the chart and let's break it down like we do every time here for our chat members.
Or did you tell me to click over the chart?
Yeah, so that was a pretty quick gap fill. How long did it take to fill that gap? 1 day. Is that bullish? Of course. Do I want you to make money? Of course. Do I know what it's going to do? No, I don't. I have no clue what it's going to do. But we can try to figure this out as a, as a community here, because honestly with GE, as much as I know this is a reopening play, it's huge. It's a huge company. It's actually a company that has they have a lot of money, and you see a lot of stocks that have no financials that, they're trading way above their PEs. But I mean, if you ask what your question is, if I like GE or not, or if I think it's going to drop, I don't know, but it filled that gap pretty quick, and that would be a bullish sign for me. I don't know if you have calls. I don't know if you have the stock. I don't know your entry. I don't know what percentage of your portfolio this is. So it's a very broad question, but best of luck. But I mean, if it bounced that hard from that support that Jonathan drew, that tells me that there's a lot of buyers there, and there are people that are willing to protect the price. There are people, institutions as well, that are willing to protect the price and not let it fall down. And ultimately, that's what you're seeing there. GE discounted, I'm buying that. Institutions are buying that. I'll tell you something. Retail can't move stocks like that, especially GE. So if you see that kind of move, my friend, you're talking about institutional money. You're talking about big money, smart money, the kind of thing that you would find on the block trades that we went over earlier.
I think this is a decent chart example of how past resistance becomes new support, and past support becomes new resistance. So just, since we usually have beginners in here along with our experienced traders. So just what I mean here is that, see, all the way back here at the beginning of the year, the price ran up and it kind of bounced off of this orange line. It went back down again, and it came back up to that orange line as well as that red candle. Before it broke through, it kind of hesitated. And so it hesitated. You'll see that a lot of times where if it's been trying to break through this price level, it usually, if it's been consistent, it usually will hesitate before the bulls say, no, we really mean it this time, and then they break through on volume. But now that it went all the way up to the moon, notice how when it crashes back down, where does it end up? It ends up going down to that same $12 level or $11.98 or wherever it was there. Very, very similar to what that prior resistance level was. So when you're learning candlesticks and charting patterns, this is very important. Why is it important? Why does Nic Chahine start with the charting? It's because it's telling you a story about the psychology of the market. It's telling you a story about where the sellers are, where the buyers are, and that's why we do our charting. That's why when you ask questions about these types of stocks in the chat, Nic Chahine is going to start with a chart, like right here. He's got his channel. He's got this is called I just blanked out on the name. The volume
profile.
Volume profile. That's what it is. So this is how many shares are traded at each price point within a certain time frame. So he uses volume profile. He uses support and resistance lines, channels, and that way he's telling you a story about what's going on with this chart. So you don't have to go it alone. You can really interpret the market with those tools.
That's the beauty. That is the beauty of mentorship, that you can actually know nothing and somebody that knows a lot can help you make money. And guess what? You're grabbing the information from somebody with 15 years, decades of experience, and you're literally filtering your trades through that. So, I mean, you know how many times people say, I wish I had a mentor. I wish somebody would take me under their wing. I mean, people generally don't like to do that. People generally don't like to help other people by nature. But there are some good angels out there, especially when it comes to money. There are some good people out there like Nic Chahine that are willing to take time out of their day doing their trades to really help the community, to teach the trading community, not just about options, but about technicals, about risk management, strategies that you can use. Ultimately, that's the only person you want to trust. I'm not going to trust nobody on social media with my money. I'm going to trust somebody who has a verified track record. And honestly, that's probably what you need to do too. If you've been following people on social media, I mean, get lucky once or twice, but then you know what happens after that. So let's talk here with the subscribers for a bit. Mary, let's go, Mary. Is Benzinga helping me make money by doing the job for me? That's pretty much what a mentorship means. Somebody takes you under their wing. They tell you what you need, how to read stocks, how to trade options, what kind of trades you could do, how to learn those kind of trades. I mean, in a sense, you have to do the learning yourself, but he will filter your trades. He will give you trade opportunities. You will be around the community that is as helpful as Jonathan and I. Literally, there's people out there that come in with no experience, no options experience. And there are people in the chat room that have taken them under their wing. I've seen it. It's beautiful, man. I almost cried. There was this one guy there who I signed up about 2 weeks ago, and then somebody just came up and was like asking a basic question. And literally he offered to help, like, you know, this other person out, understand the basics. And, you know, even though like Nick is like the beast at that, it's just beautiful that the chat members and the community take care of each other, that we actually look out for each other and make sure that we're sharing the right information, the right trades, the right education, because we all are here for two reasons: to learn and to make money. And that's it. It's that simple. So we're going over questions here still, Jonathan. Let's see. Andy with Mighty Soldiers has been your mentor. Andy is awesome, bro. Andy's awesome for Mighty Soldiers. I know him as well. He's a super cool guy, super down to earth. We have him all the time here in Benzinga. He uses Benzinga Pro all the time as well. He's done boot camps with us. He's an amazing guy. Benzinga has amazing relationships across the spectrum. Amazing relationships with traders, with institutions, with, I mean, you name it. You name it. PR firms, marketing firms. We just do so much with the ecosystem that it's like you just can't ignore Benzinga. You just can't. They're just so well connected with the industry. So let's go over a couple more questions here. Okay, so
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. I gotta be back here at 7 a.m. and I'm not made of steel like Rodrigo. I'm leaving in 2 minutes.
Okay, let's see. Let's go over any final questions that you guys have. Leave your questions there so that we can take them on. If not, we can see you some other time. But just know this does expire at. Yeah, Rodrigo, we used to chat. Okay, how do you join Nic's community? Let's drop the link in there. We're gonna drop the links one last time, guys, before we head out. This time's for real. I don't know if Jonathan's joking. I'm not in on it, but
I'm not joking. Rodrigo would literally stay here for another 3 hours, but I don't do well on no sleep.
So let's make sure that at least that you guys have the link, because this will expire at midnight. But if you do have any questions, also we're gonna throw in my contact, because you know, if you want to email me or call me, I'm still gonna be working. I'm gonna get off this thing and I'm gonna call you guys. I got emails. You guys are reaching out. Very nice messages. I love the feedback that you guys are sending this. So I'm glad that you're enjoying this. I'm glad that you're finding this useful, because ultimately I'm not doing this for myself. You know, I'm doing this for you guys. We're doing this every day. We're doing this on the weekends. We're going hard, and you know, we're doing what we have to do for you guys. So drop the information there with the chat, and also dropped the link there. So let's make sure we can get everything out before we can head out here, Jonathan. Make sure that everybody, you know, has their questions answered and all that stuff. Jobsman, calling you afterward. We setting up my workspace tonight? Hell yeah, we're setting up your workspace tonight, man.
Let's go.
We're gonna do it, man. I'm getting off the stream because I'm gonna do some one-on-one with some of you guys. I know you want it. I know you like it, and that's what I'm here for. I know a lot of you guys want to take a little deeper dive, you know. So then we can go from there. So I absolutely will be here after the stream. I'm gonna be calling you guys. Email me. I am available. I'll still be working, and I'll be in the morning as well, because I mean, it's unfair that I tell you it expires at midnight and then I just dip on you guys, right? So I'm not gonna do that to you guys. So I'll make sure that we can hook you up, Jocelyn. Call me once this thing is over. I'll be here catching up with you guys. So if this is for real and we're actually leaving, Jonathan, I just want to say thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for everything that you've been, you know, being here with us. Questions, comments, feedback. I mean, I'm just happy that you guys are enjoying it. And, you know, we're going to keep doing this if you guys want the education, if it's working out for you. Jew baby, I don't need a laptop. We can't afford it at half off. Can you hook us up with a free trial? Let's just do something, Jew baby. Call me, okay? Call me. All right. And if nobody else has any other questions, just want to thank you guys for being here with us tonight in the stream. We love the fact that you're here supporting us and stuff. So anything else that you need, Jonathan, I don't know if you have any closing word for our beautiful subs here.
Just come back on Thursday. We'll be back online 8 p.m. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back. I think we'll be lucky enough to have Nick again. But either way, we'll be prepping for the next trading day. So tune in 8 p.m. Thursday on Benzinga YouTube.
So let's do something here, Jonathan. I actually, first of all, I want to congratulate Stay Pinto. Stay Pinto, love that. Thanks for joining, man. You're gonna love the community. You're just, I mean, this is it, man. Pen and paper time. But I do want to let you guys know, this is, yes, Space Ape. This is Ape community, retail trader community. Just give me a 1 in the chat if you want us to stay. I don't know. Just curious. I'm just curious, Jonathan. Do you guys want us to stay? Put a 1 in the chat if you want us to stay.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Let's just see what our members want. You know, let's just see what you guys want. I just want to see, just curious what you guys think. Do you want Jonathan and I to stay here and talk a little bit about education?
Dobson wants you to set up his workspace. Pedro
Okay.
doesn't care about sleep. TCG doesn't care. You guys are killing me. This is great.
We got a lot of ones here. This is a tough call for me, guys.
We'll be back on Thursday, everyone. Thank you. Rodrigo is a beast. I'm so glad to have him on the team, and I'll be available too in the morning. I'll probably be online around 7 a.m. So until next time, happy trading. Give us a call and take care.
So guys, you still there? Are you guys still here in the chat? So guys, glad you guys stayed. I don't know who fell for it, but you know, Jonathan always likes to play these jokes, but I just sneaked in. Jonathan kicked me out, and I just wanted Okay, cool. Yeah, Jonathan kicked me out. I just sneaked in. Just wanted to give you one last thank you, one last shout out, guys, for being with us. I want you to take this mentorship seriously. I just want to be quick, honestly, because I want to get this out. You know, when I was trading, I started things just, I really didn't know what I was doing wrong. And ultimately, until I found the education, I really didn't connect with all these things. So I really just wanted to leave you with a few things here. I did go through my own experience in trading. I blew up my account twice. I was just trading calls, buying at the top, selling at the bottom. You really don't know what you're doing wrong until you actually get that, you get some sense kicked into your trades. And ultimately, that's what happened here with me in my experience where, I was talking with Nick and I was just realizing, man, like, okay, I messed up there. I also messed up there. I also messed up there. And I'm like, okay, this cost me, this much, this cost me that much. So eventually you add the numbers. And if you stop doing these mistakes, that's really what's going to be, it adds up is what I'm trying to, especially with options. So I want to leave my information here below. So that way, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I want to talk to you. I want to hear where you're coming from and all that. So this time I am serious. I am 100% legit. We're going to leave the stream running for a bit, but I'm officially saying, goodbyes here. I will be back in the morning. I have a couple calls. I see that you guys sent me even like more emails, but I'm going to get back to you guys now. Now I'm serious. Yep. Read the chat. Michael, can you subscribe through PayPal? Yeah, you can, but before you do that, let me call you. Maybe we could find something better. So don't subscribe yet, Michael. I'm going to call you. If you can, please email me. I don't know if you already did. But right now, we're doing like a little Q&A for you guys. If you have any final questions before you make the commitment, I want you guys to understand that we are here for you. Like literally, I'm here for you at 11. Jonathan left. And it doesn't make a difference to me. I'm here for you guys. So if you have any questions for me before you commit yourself to the options mentorship, send me an email, call me. I'm seeing that you guys are still calling and emailing me. I love this. That's great, man. Let's see. Jane Doe, don't worry. We hook it up. We hook it up here. So Pedro, thank you for staying here with us. Jobsman, thank you, man, for signing up with us. Welcome to the family, Jobsman. You're part of the Benzinga family. We love the community here. And ultimately, that's what makes us a stronger community every day, that we have people from different backgrounds from all over the world looking at trades, looking at different ways to really find those good trade ideas, right? And it's really hard when you're doing it on your own. So, final call here, Q&A. Does anybody have any final questions before I legitimately log off here and legitimately get back to work and to calling you guys? Pedro, yes, of course. I'm reaching out to you currently. Okay, Pedro, let me finish the stream. I know you guys want to talk. So do I. I want to talk with all you guys too. So, all right, Pedro. So we are going to be sending it off here. And any questions that you guys have, look at this thing on the bottom of the screen. That's where you're going to find my contact. I'm going to post it one more time here in the chat so you guys can look at that. And that way you can get into the chat room tomorrow. This is what I suggest, ladies and gentlemen. Sign up, get the education, get in there tomorrow in the morning and look at the game plan that Nick is putting. Nick is showing what he's looking at in the morning. So ultimately, that gives you a good idea of where you think he's looking for hot trades in the market for the day, because remember, those trades are super synced. Like, he's literally throwing you trades throughout the day that he gets the alerts that it reaches a certain buy or sell point, and then the decision at that point is, how do I trade this? Do I buy a call? Do I buy a put? Do I do a credit put spread or a covered call? So many options, and I don't understand any of them. Gotta ask Nick. Okay? Rule number 1, ask Nick. Rule number 2, ask Nick again. All right? So I'm just going to leave this information here, guys. Pedro, I just got your email. I'm definitely going to link up with you in a bit. Just wrapping things up here for everybody, making sure that there's no stone left unturned, no trader left behind. If you have any questions, I want to take care of it now, because ultimately, that's what I'm here for, guys. So I don't see anything else. Pedro, I got your email. Michael, we're gonna talk. I don't see an email from you yet. I think I have your voicemail, Michael. But let's connect, guys. I'm about to be calling all you guys in a bit. So I'm glad you're here with us. Glad you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, we're here to help. Thanks for being part of the community, guys. I have a lot of chat members here already. So we'll be around. You're gonna see us around, guys. So have your questions ready. And thanks for being with us today.